$3 to $5 higher. 3 to 400 pound steers $4.90, $5.35. 3 to 400 pound heifers $4.25, $4.40. 4 to 500 pound steers $4, $4.90. 4 to 500 pound heifers $3.75, $4.25. 5 to 600 pound steers $3.87, $4. 5 to 600 pound heifers $3.35, $3.75. 6 to 700 pound steers $3.30, $3.87. 6 to 700 pound heifers $2.77, $3.35. 7 to 800 pound steers $3.07, $3.30. 7 to 800 pound heifers $2.57, $2.77. Packer cows $1.55, $1.66. Canner and cutter cows $1.40, $1.45. Packer bulls $1.78, $1.89. Feeder bulls $1.68, $1.75. The top half of the cow-calf pairs $2,850 to $3,125 per pair. And the bred cows not well tested this week. Next week's sale will be held on Tuesday in observance of Memorial Day. Expecting another nice run of cattle. Talk to you next Tuesday morning. This is Smiley Wooten, Roswell Livestock Auction.
What is the Safe Haven Law? In New Mexico, you can bring your infant up to 90 days old to any Safe Haven site without fear of being criminally charged. This includes hospitals, fire stations, and police departments. Monica Kelsey, founder of Safe Haven Baby Boxes, has worked diligently to provide 3 baby box locations for your convenience. Hobbs's Baby Box is at Fire Station 1, 301 East White Street. Carlsbad's Baby Box is at Fire Department Station 1, 401 South Halegueño Street. Roswell's Baby Box is at their Central Fire Station, 200 South Richardson Avenue. Remember, if you can't make it to one of these Safe Haven Baby Box locations, you can take your infant to any hospital, police department, or fire station. No shame, no blame, and no names. Visit shbb.org for more information.
What's really going on? Daniel Velos back at it again at Permian Ford Lincoln, your new home of the Big Blue Gorilla. You'll see why whenever you come by. Check it out. Anyway, glad to be back powering B in the Breakfast Club. Also excited to be back here at Permian Ford making all the deals for all of southeastern New Mexico and West Texas that are so outrageous you'll think twice about buying or selling your car anywhere else. Text me today, 575-441-7855. We have a radio discount code, Breakfast Club. That's 575-441-7855. Radio discount code Breakfast Club. PermianFord.com.
Pharmacy 575 is excited to welcome nurse practitioner Jessica Barrera to their team. From primary care to minor injuries, she is ready to care for our community. Walk-ins are welcome, but appointments are preferred. Offering the My Daily Medication program with pre-dose packaging, wellness consultations, weight loss plans, and more. Go see Pharmacy 575 at 305 East Sanger, Suite 600, or call 575-263-2908. Find them on Facebook, Instagram, and X. Pharmacy 575. Your health, their priority.
Get ready to ignite your senses. Smoking on the Plaza is back and hotter than ever in Lovington, New Mexico. Join the fun Friday, May 30th, starting at 4 p.m. and Saturday, May 31st at noon. It's a weekend packed with mouth-watering food, unique vendors, and electrifying live music. Friday's lineup features the Wicked West Band, Liquid Gypsy, and Pecos and the Rooftop. Saturday keeps the beat with Conjunto Bengala, followed by A.B. Quintanilla and Cumbia All-Stars. And that's not all. Experience the thrill of mechanical bull riding, glide at the skating rink, or unleash your creativity in the splatter room. This free event is Lovington Main Street's annual fundraising extravaganza. Plus, the IBCA-sanctioned cook-off is still accepting participants. Your chance to compete at Nationals awaits. Don't miss this sizzling celebration in the heart of downtown Lovington. Visit SmokingOnThePlaza.com for more info or enter your team. That's SmokingOnThePlaza.com.
Southeast New Mexico weather.
Good morning. The forecast going down to 285 on this Tuesday at 87 degrees in Roswell, 86 in Carlsbad, Artesia, and 83 degrees in Lovington. Lovington temperatures will reach 90 degrees on Wednesday, even hotter in Carlsbad with a high temperature at 96 degrees. For W105 FM, I'm meteorologist Ron Herbert.
Your country plays on W105.
Hello? And there is a great deal of excitement and anticipation in the air.
Come on, feel the noise.
Actually, it's a beautiful voice and a beautiful accent. The only problem is I can't understand a word you're saying.
In the Breakfast Club being powered by Permian Ford. with the goal of being your #1 Ford dealer in New Mexico and West Texas. Broadcasting from the Inn of the Mountain God studio. The question of the day brought to you by Lovington Auto Supply. They have parts for semis, heavy trucks, and industrial trucks. Text line being brought to you by Amigo Machinery, your Kubota dealer.
I never attacked him on his look, and believe me, there's plenty of subject matter right there.
Call or text now, 877-396-W105 to talk to us.
Good morning.
Morning.
We are V and the Breakfast Club.
Good morning, friends. I got a question for you.
Who wants to be a millionaire?
Who wants to be a millionaire?
Who wants to be a millionaire?
Oh my God, I totally want to be a millionaire.
Well, today's your lucky day.
Today is National Be a Millionaire Day.
I'm gonna need $1 million.
$1 million?
$1 million.
$1 million.
May 20th is National Be a Millionaire Day.
Show me the money.
Showtime.
6:06. Good morning show this morning being powered by our buddies at Permian Ford. Check them out today. Make sure and go see Daniel today. Looking for a truck, a car. They're packed with inventory. Go talk to Daniel today at Permian Ford. Broadcasting from the End of the Mountain God studio. Text line 877-396-W105. Being brought to you by Amigo Machinery, your Kubota dealer. Question of the day this morning being brought to you by Lovington Auto and Truck Supplies. They've got the largest selection of big truck parts. Check them out, Avenue D and Lovington. Question of the day this morning, National Streaming Day. What is your favorite streaming service? Favorite. Blake, you got a favorite streaming service?
Right now, it's Angel Studios.
Angel Studios.
Tell us
And what's
why.
the cost of that?
I got it for $8 a month.
Okay.
But it's normally
Okay, I'll have to-
normally I think it's 12, but they run specials all the time.
No,
I'm
I know
gonna
they
have to check it out.
I know
What
they
what
have,
else
like-
is on there?
like
Uh,
family movies,
you-
but what TV shows do they offer? Because I'm more of a TV show girl.
Well, remember the movie you were talking about, The Homestead?
Right.
There's a series on that. It's on Angel.
I might have to
They do
get a bootleg of that.
they do a lot of movies and stuff, and they come out. You remember the movie about the sex trafficking movie that made the big splash? That's an Angel Studios movie, and I can't think of the name of it right now. But one of the reasons we got it is because the grandkids come and stay with us for a month in the summer, and they all read the Wing Feather Saga books. Well, they have the animated series on there too.
Oh, cool.
So there's 2 or 3 seasons of that, and so we got that kind of for the kids.
Yeah.
But they've got some really good programming on there right now.
Okay.
There's one of the farmers, that Joe Salatin. There's a documentary on him, and it's talking about how, the powers that be at the big companies like Monsanto and stuff hate natural farmers because he raises his own pigs and chickens and vegetables and all that kind of stuff, and tells people how to make the land work. And there's all kinds of shows like that on there. So right now, that's my favorite.
Gotcha.
Monica, what's your favorite streaming service? If you could only have one.
I'd have to pick Hulu.
Hulu.
Because it's got.
And I'm gonna go with my mainstay, Chemo IPTV, because I can get everything that's on Netflix, Hulu, Apple TV, movies, all my ball games, all my channels, everything. So that would be mine.
Nice.
Yeah. So, and I'm cheap like that, even though I still have Amazon, Netflix, Disney. I think I got rid of Apple because that wasn't worth the money. But I mean, you start adding up all these streaming services, it's costing you just as much as it did when you had cable.
Well, and I have Amazon. It's not my favorite, but I have it because it's kind of the base for everything else.
Well,
I mean, every once in a while, if I can't find something, I will rent a movie, one of the $5.99 movies.
Right.
So that's not
Well,
That's
I
not
have
terrible.
Prime, but not so much for the streaming services or for what
Right.
you can watch.
I mean,
have
we
it more
do
for the
watch it,
shipping.
but
yeah,
not,
I'll
you know.
take advantage of it every once in a while.
Yeah, I mean, I got Paramount Plus, through Amazon, so I
Yeah.
can watch Mobland and,
Right.
and
Yeah.
all that type of
Oh,
stuff.
by the way, Kevin, my daughter said, thanks a bunch for telling her about that. Now she's hooked 7 minutes in.
Yeah. Yeah, the problem is only having X amount of, I'm going to go back to the way I used to do it is, I'm not going to watch until after.
Right.
After, after everything is released. Because if not, they got you waiting every damn month. And it's a pain in the butt
I agree.
because it leaves you wanting it leaves you wanting more.
I agree.
And
Well,
but Mobland is the way they put that together is it's actually if you like gritty type stuff, it's good.
Yeah.
It's very good. And Pierce Bronson's in there. And I can never think of that guy's name. Oh, he's a great actor. I'm trying to think of his name. He's been in
It's one of those
multiple other. Give me a second.
Yeah.
He plays Harry D'Souza.
I haven't seen the show, so I can't help.
And it's directed by Guy Ritchie.
Oh, okay.
Tom Hardy.
Tom Hardy's a great actor.
Yeah.
Great actor.
Yeah, great actor.
Yeah.
Great actor. So today, Be a Millionaire Day, Dinosaur Day, Flower Day, International Clinical Trials Day. That's where they're using you as a guinea pig. Red Sneaker Day. Rescue Dog Day. Some of the one of the best dogs I've ever had in my life was a rescue dog.
Mm-hmm.
And we rescued it. Somebody actually tied it up to the radio station and said, this dog was a DEA dog and listens, but we can't afford it anymore. It was a boxer.
Wow.
Great dog.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome dog until it started killing livestock.
Yeah, not so
and
good.
my neighbors put him down.
Mm.
But great dog. I could tell that dog to sit
Mm-hmm.
and stay and walk around the house, come back. It was waiting for me to give another command.
Oh, yeah.
Good dog.
Yep.
Very good dog. Today is streaming day. That's what we're talking about. Your favorite streaming service. Pick Strawberries Day. Weight and Measures Day. World Autoimmune Arthritis Day. Yeah, I got some of that. World Bee Day. Thank you. World Flower Day going on all day today. Yeah. Autoimmune arthritis. I have the psoriatic arthritis with the plaque in my lungs. And for whatever reason, I'm not on the medication because I don't want to take, I don't like the side effects, but it leaches out of my body, the arthritis. And it puts like these, like lesions around my ankles.
Oh,
and that's how it began. And I went in and they said, "You have any problems breathing?" And my brother has the same thing. So
do you think it's more
psoriatic
hereditary?
arthritis. I don't know, but it's not good because eventually it puts plaque on your lungs, and that's not a good place to be.
No.
So it's not a real good. And I don't even know about the heart. But, I mean, they checked my heart when I was in the hospital a couple of years ago, so I should be good. Today, Representative Lauren Boebert and Kid Rock have supposedly started dating again. There's a photo at the Rock and Rodeo
Good
event.
for him.
And, they first dated in a park. And by mean, maybe it was a trailer park. I don't know, but good for Kid Rock. I mean, she's hot, and remember the whole thing about her? She had a date, and they went to the movies, and they were all over each other, and
Yeah, she moved districts in Colorado so that she could run again or something because they were trying to get her.
It wouldn't surprise me that he would be with
a chick who's into politics.
I bet.
Yeah.
I bet he likes going to movies with her. That's all I'm going to say.
I think he does. By the way, if Kid Rock pulls this off, you're really going to have to give him a hand. And I mean a hand because Lauren
She'll give
Boebert's
him
probably
one.
got the other hand. Maybe I don't know.
She'll give him one.
But yeah. CBS News President CEO Wendy McMahon announced she's stepping down for another stunning move for the embattled company. If you would have thought 30 years ago CNN would be embattled, you would go, probably not. But look, the legacy news outlets are not what they used to be. And is it CBS or NBC that's being sued by Trump because of the editing for CBS?
Yep.
So there you go. So Trump's got a huge lot. Isn't it like 1.5 billion?
Oh, it's huge. And by the way, I hate that they get, and I've probably said this before, I hate that they gave themselves the name Legacy Media. All because they got upset because people kept calling them mainstream media.
Sure.
And they're
Right.
like, oh,
Yeah.
well, that's negative. We can't have that. We're the legacy media.
Right.
Legacy.
They're
By
the
the way,
mainstream media.
Social Security Administration tracking baby names once again. And what name do you think is the #1 name in America this
For
year
boys or
for
girls?
baby boys?
Baby boys.
Boys. Give me boys, then girls.
Okay, for boys, I'm gonna say Blake. Honestly,
Donald.
Donald, or like I don't know.
All right, for girls,
For
what's your
girls, I'm gonna
pick?
say Bella or Ella or
No,
Olivia.
Lehman, number
okay.
one.
Liam.
Olivia is no
you go.
is the #1 name for girls,
And
and for
Liam
the 6th
for boys.
consecutive year, Emma took the 2nd spot,
I knew
and
it.
Noah took the #2 spot for boys.
I saw
Yeah.
that. I watched this reel on Facebook, and it was showing how older names have become like a trend for naming your babies now. Like,
Well, they said biblical names were making a comeback, but they had really said that, like Muhammad and no Muslim names were huge because they're making more babies than we are.
yeah, true.
Yep. Deborah Norville stepping down as host of Inside Edition.
Well, she's like
30 years.
I was going to say,
30
isn't she like
years.
90 now? I mean, how old is she?
Yeah, she's been a staple.
I
there.
have no idea, but look, she started that gig in 1995, and before that, wasn't she on one of the mainstream news?
I think so, but I don't remember.
Yeah, I think she was on the mainstream, and then, said, "I'm going to get a lighter gig, Inside Edition." That's pretty light.
You know, all of those reporters that turn into entertainment reporters, they all
Right.
say that the stress is so much less, and
I can
they
only
do
imagine.
enjoy it. So
I can only imagine. All right, we're going to go to the text. We're talking about streaming service. We'll get to the text coming up next. Morning show this morning being brought to you by Rig Outfitters in the home store. Find them in the Broadmoor Mall. Extensive collection of FR everything. They've got coveralls, gloves, shirts, coats, jackets. Look, I know it's the, summer, but if you're looking for stuff like that, they've got it. They also have hard hats and work boots, steel toe boots, and they have a section of boots that are just $99. Pair of boots for $99. And of course, they have safety gear and furniture, appliances, and electronics, all at 0 down financing. Check them out online at rigoutfitters.com or in the Broadmoor Mall. They're right next to Scrub Outfitters. You can find all the big name scrubs, the largest selection in 100 miles. Dickies, Healing Hands, Mercouture, Peaches, all the big name brands, plus comfortable shoes and compression socks. Follow them on Facebook. It's Scrub Outfitters right next to Rig Outfitters. High temperature for southeast New Mexico, getting up to 83. Wind will not be a factor today. 56 tonight, and then tomorrow we're back up in the 90s. 92, and winds are going to be less than 5 miles an hour for southeast New Mexico. Today in Ruidoso in Lincoln County, 73 and sunny skies, winds less than 15 miles an hour, 46 tonight, and tomorrow's high getting up to 80. And for Albuquerque, 80 and sunny throughout the day. Less than 10-mile-an-hour winds expected today, 46 tonight, 87 tomorrow, and wind will not be a factor tomorrow. 5-day forecast, go to W105radio.com. Quick check of the weather being brought to you by Fusion Medical Spa. Find them in Ruidoso. It's, the whole month they're dedicating to the ladies. Month of May, ladies. Big discounts on products and procedures for women. Fusion is having a war on the wrinkles, and they're offering Botox for $11 per unit with a registered nurse administering the Botox. That's $1.50 off a unit. And right now they're offering $500 off the O-Shot, which deals with women's urinary incontinence. And don't forget, Fusion also has a product that can restart hair growth for women that have thinning hair. And if you are a hardworking man or woman working in the patch or a tough job, and you've been told you need surgery for your back, your knees, your hips, your joints, whatever it is, call and get a free consultation today to talk about stem cell therapy without going under the knife. Stem cell therapy. Talk to Dr. Rapp today. His number 575-257-4772 are in the River Crossing and Ruidoso. Check them out today. All right, we're going to talk about federal charges brought against Democratic Congresswoman. The Dems are losing their mind. Where's AOC? Where's Hakeem Jeffries? They drew the line in the sand. Now they have filed charges. What are you going to do now? And the governor is trying to be the person that she is actually trying to be the person that brings everybody together.
Oh, wow.
The common ground for them. Yeah, we'll get to that coming up in a second. 6:22, Monica.
All right. So that movie that you were referring to, Blake, it's The Sound of Freedom.
Yes.
Mr. A
Yes.
and Big Poppy sent in a text, as well as someone else, but I don't have them saved. Favorite streaming service? All of them. Each of them have their specific shows that I love, says that editor chick. And Fats sent in a text just saying Tom Hardy.
Yes. Tom Hardy is badass.
Yes. This texter said, I watch YouTube or I buy DVDs. Oh, Patrick and I were talking about that. How, like,
YouTube is
when you
good.
start young, like, you don't get cable or whatever. And so, like, when you know what I mean? Like, you have your own apartment or whatever. Like, we were just reminiscing. He was like,
That
I
damn
had,
red box,
Yeah,
man.
he
You
was
had
like,
to
I
you
had
running
5
back for the
DVDs
red box.
that I watched, like, over and over and over. And I was like,
Well,
what were they?
YouTube, if you have streaming service, that whatever you want, there's somebody out there making content
Sure.
for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean they bootleg a whole bunch of stuff on YouTube. You can find it on YouTube. Even like games.
Well,
there have been times that I'm on the road and my streaming is
Mm-hmm.
not working or whatever, and I go on YouTube and just type in the name of the game and put live.
Yep.
Bam.
Yeah.
Well, it's like I was telling somebody about the old movie. It's an animated movie called Wizards the other day. And they're like, where can I get it? And I'm like, well, you can go find it on a streaming service. They couldn't find it. And I said, just go on YouTube and type in Wizards. And it's from
Yeah.
the 70s and you'll get it.
It's going to be there.
And the whole movie was there. And they're like, thanks.
Yeah, some are there. Smokey says, good morning, guys and Monica. Have a great day. You as well, Smokey. Good morning. This texter said, I had Amazon Prime for about 2 years before I realized you could watch Paramount. Cool Hand Lynn said, too bad they didn't include the eagle and the tree to go along with the plane and the flower day. And a couple of people want to know how Tom is.
I did not speak to Tom yesterday. I got I had a busy night last night. I came home early as soon as the live band was over. I told the wife, "You can stay. I'm going home. I'm going to the gym in the morning." And so I drank 2 or 3 beers, and she was taking shots of tequila and came home, and I was like, "Tequila makes her clothes fall off." Well, it didn't make her clothes fall off, but then it wasn't very pleasant for her. So.
Oh, no.
Yeah. And so I told her today, another disco tonight? You going? I can get your bottle of tequila. No.
You're a jerk.
Are you sure? Sure. Look, I got a bottle right here. Let me open it so you can smell it.
Cabron. I can already see you taunting her. And I unfortunately could not get a hold of Tom yesterday. I even went by the bus and didn't feel like knocking all over the place. I did honk, but he didn't come out.
He didn't answer anyone yesterday.
We'll see if he calls me today in a bad mood.
I text him, see how he's doing. Nothing.
Nothing? Well, maybe.
But that's not
right. It's not unheard of.
Yeah, he's got a mind of his own. Like, sometimes it takes 2 days to get a text.
That's the way to say it.
Or if he's mad at us, he'll ignore us until he's ready.
Oh, I don't play that. I don't play that. I'm like,
Oh, yeah, that's all the time. If he's mad, it takes days.
Yeah. Not going to happen.
And that's all for the text.
All right, it looks like federal charges filed against the Democratic Congresswoman following the confrontation at the ICE facility. Look, if you watch the video, she was manhandling people. She was throwing elbows, and, these people are making it out to be that, no, this is different. This is totally different. No, it's not. This is the way the law is set up, and it's not a big deal. Well, you know who filed the paperwork? Alina Habba, former Trump attorney, who is now the acting U.S. attorney for the District of New Jersey.
Right.
She filed the and look, she assaulted a member of law enforcement. That is a violation of Title 18.
Yep.
Section 111. I really don't care if she is a sitting representative.
Nope.
Why should they get a pass?
They should not.
And I mean, and these Democrats are still saying, no, that's not the way it happened. Yes, it is. Listen to what Representative Brandon Boyle had to say, saying this isn't normal. Yes, it is. It's very normal. Yeah.
It is chilling. The reason why they're doing this is to shut me and my Democratic colleagues up. They're doing it to make us afraid. It's not going to work. If anything, it will only strengthen our resolve. But make no mistake about it, this is not normal. It is not the sort of thing that happens in healthy democracy. It is truly chilling. And I would urge all of my colleagues, both Democrats and Republicans, even those Republicans who say one thing in private.
Where do you draw the line? Let me just ask that. Where do you draw the line? Do you allow them to, get a knife and cut them? Or do you allow them to, I don't know, do you allow them to shoot a member of ICE? Where's the acceptable line that's drawn?
Well, I would argue that what he's talking about is not normal, is their behavior, what they did.
Yeah, you're damn right. That's not normal.
That's not normal.
Right.
So if you take it from that context, he's right.
Tried to enter a federal building. Now, look, usually they give allowances for, congressional members. If you make an appointment and you show up, they're going to give you a tour of the facility. But you can't go there and try to bum rush the place. That's not the way that works. Thank God that you got somebody like Scott Jennings on CNN telling a completely different story than the story that these idiots are trying to tell. Scott Jennings yesterday on CNN.
Shoving, elbows, some punches. I mean, this is
a lot of
violent activity against law enforcement, isn't it?
It's a lot of pushing and shoving. I don't know if...
Would a regular person, if they came and did that to a federal officer, get away with it?
A regular person?
Like a regular, just a non-politician?
They might get pardoned.
If they showed up at a federal facility,
they might get pardoned by the.
But were they charged? Were they charged? Were they convicted in court?
Let me.
Would a regular person get away with it?
You brought up
occupancy, and if these members of Congress.
But what does that have to do with a clear video of someone assaulting a police officer?
Scott? Was that
pretty clear.
There's nothing clear about it.
It's not a cheap fake. I can assure you of that.
Let me tell you something. If you took off your MAGA goggle glasses and looked at it,
it's not a cheap fake. The problem is they have a video of it. And it doesn't look great. And if the argument is, oh, we're here to conduct legitimate oversight, is that what oversight looks like? Pushing and shoving and elbowing and causing a riot at a federal facility? Is that what oversight looks like?
Is incorrect.
So where do you stand on this? Monica, what's your thought on this? They go and they shove people and they elbow people. Do we allow them to get away with that just because they're simply members of the legislature?
Absolutely not. I say whoever they were pushing and shoving, I wish they would have beat their ass, turned around.
Yeah, and you know what? If they were normal people, chances are
they'd be in
law
jail.
enforcement would have swung back around and hit them with some tear gas or something.
Yep. Yeah.
And they had every right to do that.
Well,
it's crazy.
And here's the thing too, is whoever that girl was in the background, I don't remember who all was on that panel, but she was like, "What are you looking at through MAGA glasses?"
Yeah, whatever. Go look at the video.
If you're looking at that video and you're not seeing them pushing and shoving and throwing elbows, what glasses are you looking at it through?
Let me just say this much. At this point, there is not one thing I will believe a Democrat. When they say it, I'm very skeptical. And I'm going to tell you why. They have lied about everything. They have lied about Biden's health. They have lied about Biden's cognitive ability. They have lied about everything. And then when you see videos, they go, no, that never happened. No. So I'm stupid now.
Right.
No, not only am I stupid, I'm blind.
Well, again, if George Orwell's 1984, you can't believe your own eyes. I mean, they are, it's like a playbook for them.
Yeah.
Sad. Our Governor Michelle Lujan Gresham of New Mexico will be featured along the Utah Governor Spencer Cox for the first installment of Common Ground Forum, a series organized by the Ronald Reagan Presidential Foundation, an institute for promoting civil dialogue and bipartisan cooperation. Wait, this is the same governor that called people that voted for Trump lizard people, right?
Yes, it is.
Lizard people.
Yeah, and she's only half.
So it doesn't sound like she's looking, you know.
Hey, do you think Ronald Reagan would ever choose her to speak anywhere?
No. and then we have to ask the question, what the hell's the matter with the Ronald Reagan Foundation? Who have they put in charge of the Ronald Reagan Foundation? Ronnie Jr.?
Must be. Well, she is She is only half the woman she was only a few months ago. So
she is. She has hit that. She has hit that Ozempic and double takes.
Yep.
That's for damn sure. Looks like Supreme Court allowing the Trump administration to revoke amnesty for 300,000 Venezuelans. The Supreme Court allowing President Trump to end temporary protection status for amnesty for more than 300,000 Venezuelan migrants. 8-1 ruling came yesterday, and the majority of the court said that Donald Trump does have the right to revoke amnesty for 300,000 Venezuelans who came to the country and not the rest. Look, a great majority of the 20 million people that came into the country illegally came in through amnesty, but didn't finish filing the paperwork. Biden was just rubber stamping, not Biden, because Biden, I'm past that.
It was the auto pen.
Biden was not even there physically. Well, he's there physically, but mentally not there. President Trump yesterday spoke to Putin and then Zelensky and says the ceasefire negotiation will start immediately, and went on to say that he believes that Donald Trump, that Putin is ready for peace. He is ready for peace. They've been fighting a long time. That conversation lasted 2 hours. Donald Trump and Putin's conversation lasted 2 hours, and so ceasefire has begun. We'll see where this all plays out. And then he got on the phone and spent about an hour and a half talking with Zelensky. And look, I'm just going to say this. Zelensky is not innocent in all of this.
No.
At all. At all. Zelensky's trying to protect what he's got, and that's a vested interest in this war. Think of the money personally this guy's made. Pretty crazy. Looks like the search for a man accused of exposing himself to multiple women and a 7-year-old girl is over. The video shows the arrest of Timothy Ria. He was arrested a few hours after police started searching for him. They found him in Rio Rancho. Police said that last Monday he went to the H&M fitting room at the Coronado Mall and exposed himself to a little 7-year-old girl. He then reportedly went to Hollister's and Target and took videos of women who were changing in the fitting rooms. Oh, gosh. This sick son of a gun has been arrested. Photo of him being escorted by 2 police officers. So he is off the street. And this might surprise you, but I'm not surprised at this because here we go again. Democrats lie about everything.
Yeah.
New numbers coming out. How many times did they have to adjust the numbers for the jobs report? Remember that? They would release it. Oh, things are great. And then they'd have to come back and reverse it.
Well, they didn't have to. They did it. You know, they don't want the real numbers out there. Right. And so they'd go, oh, yeah, we got 20 million jobs. Oh, we really meant 200.
Yeah.
New numbers from the Bureau of Labor and Statistics show 800,000 jobs from last year never existed. Biden administration repeatedly overestimated the jobs and quietly revised them down. For the period March 23 to March 24, they believed that there was a downward trend of 584 non-farming payroll jobs. This means that the job growth that they came up with was 600,000. And when they readjusted it, they had lost 598 jobs. So I'm not that smart. 600,000 minus 598,000?
2,000. That's what I'm saying. They're all of the numbers from Biden administration. Anything that you thought was good was all exaggerated.
Sure.
And everything that a statistic that would have been bad, they exaggerated.
They made this out to be that this guy was a job-making machine.
The only jobs that actually, that's what he got, government. But he took credit. He took credit for people just going back to work, you know, from COVID. Those weren't new jobs. Those were just people going back to work.
People just returning to work. 75-year-old has been arrested after they found 70 pounds of cocaine hidden inside the seats of his car, according to Customs and Border Protection. It's happened in Del Rio at the International Bridge. They were searching a Chevy driven by a 75-year-old Mexican citizen. They found 32 packs of cocaine, almost 70 pounds of cocaine, hidden in a compartment in the seats of the vehicle. They believe the street value $930,000. I say that number is a little light. 70 pounds of cocaine. I'm not in the cocaine business, but I bet you could flip that for millions. 70 pounds of cocaine.
Yeah.
We got any cokehead listeners? I'm just asking. I'm not judging you. I'm just asking.
Oh, Lord.
All right, 639. Let's get to the tweet of the day. We'll get to the thought of the day coming up in just a second. Lots of talks about reparations. So we're going to deal with the tweet of the day, and that's going to be about reparations. Tweet of the day this morning being brought to you by our friends at WWRV3.com, 988-0392. They offer, they've got 3 RV parks in Carlsbad, 162 RV sites, 30 and 50 amps available. That includes all your internet and your utilities, all included for one low price. Pet friendly, very well lit up. Go check them out today at WWRV3.com or call them 988-0392. Reparations. Your thoughts on reparations.
Do you support reparations for Black people because they went through slavery?
Yes, I do actually.
Perfect. So we have Joel here, and you can pay your reparations right now.
Okay.
How much do you want?
What is the suffering of my ancestors worth? More than I can pay right now.
So do you want to set up like a payment plan?
No, but I do believe it's the responsibility of our government.
Oh,
to take
yeah,
more
the
action.
government. I'm not,
All right, pay up.
Yeah. By the way, he put in like 50 cents. 50 cents.
Thank you for paying for the crimes of your ancestors. You have been forgiven.
I don't know how you would go about doing that. Well, I have the answer. We have Joel Patrick here today, and he has his reparations jar. And you can pay for the crime. What other forms of payment do you accept?
We accept Venmo. We accept PayPal.
Oh. Well, I do not have Venmo. I do not have PayPal. And I am broke.
Which you would pay if you could.
Yeah, but I don't understand why you're collecting money for it.
Because I'm a Black person and my ancestors were slaves.
Yeah, but it's like I don't understand what a monetary.
Have you ever owned slaves?
No, but I do not.
Have I ever been a slave?
No.
So how much money do you owe me?
Nothing. Ding, ding, ding.
That's part of Charlie Kirk's team that goes out and does stuff like that. And reparations, we'll see where this plays out. You know, every time the Democrats are in a bad spot, they roll out the reparations talk.
Correct.
You can wait for it. That's why it's begun again. The whole idea of reparations. You know what? Yesterday was big. 86-47. Yeah, James Comey started all this. Here we go.
47, 86, 47, 86, 47, 86, 47, 86, 47, 86, 47.
Lisa, while you're at it.
86, 47.
You know what I am noticing? Most of the people out there with the 86-47, old white hippies. Old white hippies. A lot of white women are woke liberals. Lots of old white women.
So a lot of self-imposed birth control.
Yeah. My goodness. So maybe they should be questioned by Secret Service also. Knowing what 86 means.
Sure.
They don't have any
What is happening
excuses.
is exactly the reason that Comey posted it.
Well, here's James Comey yesterday. Listen to what Comey said about, and now he's trying to blame his wife. His wife's like, yeah, take a picture of it and put it up on Facebook. Now he's throwing the wife under the bus. Yeah, go ahead, take it. Post it up.
They created
Back in the middle of a political firestorm.
Yeah, for walking on the beach with my wife. So I don't know how we ended up here. It never occurred to me that it was any kind of controversial thing, but that's the time we live in.
You're a liar. We're not that stupid.
Straight up liar. Because he didn't just stumble upon that on the beach.
Again.
No.
They created it.
Yeah. We're not that stupid.
Man, just if ever there was a doubt that Democrats are full of hate and they are liars at their core, right there. Right there.
Yeah. So he continued.
Again and again and again. I really thought that I was done. I was in another life. I was a grandfather and an author wearing, sweaters and jeans. And then I went for a walk on the beach and posted a silly picture of shells
you're the
that I
victim.
thought was a clever way to express a political viewpoint. And actually, I still think it is. I don't see it the way some people are still saying it is. But again, I don't want any part of any violence. I've never been associated with violence.
No.
So that's why I took it down.
You're a damn liar. You were in law enforcement for a number of years. You know exactly what 86 means.
Exactly. Like, you don't even have to be law enforcement to know that, right?
Yeah.
I mean, like, if you ever worked in the restaurant industry, you know what that means. It means throw it away. Get rid of it.
Yeah. Sad. All right, let me get to the thought for the day, being brought to you by Wakefield Oil, 35-plus years serving Southeast New Mexico. Quality products, excellent service, boom or bust. They are ready to deliver to you. On location, off location, it really doesn't matter. On road, off road, they're ready to deliver. They can get it to you. Gas, diesel, DEF value, interstate batteries. Go to the website, wakefieldOil.com, or call them 575-622-4160. Thought for the day in memory of Mr. Wendell Wakefield. Thought for the day is, if everyone was given one free, totally legal kill in their life, I bet everybody would be much nicer to one another. You only got one. People would be much, much nicer. Much nicer. Well, looks like we got a candidate who is thinking about running for Secretary of State. Santa Fe clerk, Catherine Clark, laying out the groundwork for Secretary of State. Isn't that where our current
Maggie
Secretary
Toulouse Oliver?
Yeah, didn't she come from? Yeah, I think she came from Santa Fe. She was the Santa Fe County clerk.
I think that's right.
I do believe. Anyway, you got multiple other people that have already decided that they're running. Amanda Lopez Atkin, Donna Anya, county clerk, is currently decided that she would like to jump into that. And of course, Maggie Toulouse Oliver is termed out, so she cannot run. She's done.
But she'll run for something else.
Yeah, she will. She there's actually thoughts. Wasn't it governor she was thinking about running for?
Yeah, she was, but she doesn't want to run against Howland. So I don't know.
Deb Howland is a force to be reckoned with.
Not really, but I think that she's just so extreme that they will go in behind her.
Maybe.
I mean, she's pretty dumb too. So
yeah, she'd make a bad look. I'm not a fan of Michelle Lujan Gresham. Deb Haaland would be far worse. That's for sure.
Yes.
Yeah, far worse. 34-year-old illegal alien in Wisconsin has pled guilty to sex trafficking her own 12-year-old daughter. She was pimping her daughter. Ellie Antonio pled guilty this week, charges of trafficking a child, failure to protect a child, and by the way, she did jump bail. Why are you letting her out on bail?
Good question.
She faces up to 52 years in prison. According to the criminal complaint, she was paid $250 by Juan Rocha, who allegedly was granted unlimited access to her daughter for sex. Kid is 12 years old. And by the way, Rocha allegedly assaulted the girl in the back of a van. By the way, the girl was blindfolded and had her hands bounded, but she did bite him. Yeah. And Rocha, by the way, was also in the country illegally. And by the way, is the boyfriend of the mother. Yeah. Wow.
So sad.
I mean, we got some sick son of a guns.
Absolutely.
That's for sure. Looks like Jacob Lovato was 16 years old when he was in an apartment on Carlisle Boulevard in Albuquerque, buying a gun from individual, then threatened to take it without paying. That's when Gruel resisted Lovato, and he sprayed the gun, the room with bullets from a automatic handgun, killing Gruel. By the way, Monday, Gruel's mother, Jennifer Lucero, shared the courtroom and said that she misses her son, and she had the opportunity to look Jacob Lovato right square in the face. She said, "I don't want to hear you say you're sorry. You ain't sorry you did it, young man. You're sorry you got caught." Lovato pled guilty to first-degree murder. He's facing up to 25 years in prison. And of course, he was only 16 when he did it. So I think his attorney is like, well, we'll give him, we'll get him charged in first-degree murder, but we'll have the chance to get out when he turns 25 under the current law in New Mexico, because he'll be able to be in juvie hall, I do believe, up until that time. What does that do to juveniles that are in juvenile detention, and then you got 20-year-olds in there with them? Bad people.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't help the situation, does it? I don't think so. All right, we'll check the text. We're talking about streaming services. Morning show this morning being brought to you by Seminole Siding and Construction, a trusted name across southeast New Mexico. Exceptional construction and siding services. They do residential services, but they also do commercial and industrial metal buildings. If you have been dealing with your insurance company, you had hail damage, maybe wind damage, and you're dealing with the insurance companies, give these guys a call. They will put together a quote and deal with the insurance company and get the job done. They do siding, they do doors and windows, and, of course, metal roofs and shingle roofs and seamless gutters, and the metal buildings also. 575-391-1430, or go to the website, Seminole Siding and Construction.com. Monica, it's 9 away from 7.
Who pays reparations? My family never owned slaves. Is England going to help seeing that they colonized the U.S. with slaves? How about the countries or tribes in Africa that sold them to England? Ooh, that's a good argument. And good morning, B. I love what y'all do every day. What are your thoughts about Texas Governor Abbott Canton, the controversial Muslim city outside of Dallas? What do you think about Texas Governor Abbott and then the controversial Muslim city outside of Dallas?
Yeah, I'm going to be honest. I think it's going to be hard to completely cancel anything based on religion, but they have to follow the laws just like everybody else. And if you need a permit, you need a permit. And no Sharia law in the state of Texas.
No.
Texas has laws and no Sharia law. We have a constitution. Texas has a constitution. And there's no room for Sharia law.
Gotcha.
And that's the part that gets me. I don't care if they build their own community.
But they still have to. We have building codes and all those kinds of things, and they got to.
You just can't decide that you're going to start building. No. Can't.
Now Texas has some of the. If you have a home, Texas has some laws that are a little more lax than other states. There's some things you can do, like if you wanted to add on a room, right? Like you have to have if you have electricity, you have to have an electrician do it. But you can do the construction yourself, right, without a building inspector. So there's a few things like that Texas has a few things in. But if you're building,
wait, Blake, you can't do the wiring yourself and then and then use somebody's license.
Legally, no.
Oh,
but you can actually do the construction, right? So like
you mean I broke the law?
I'm not saying that. I don't think you did that.
No, you didn't.
I think that you had an electrician come and look and sign off on it.
Well, they did.
There you go.
Yeah, they signed off.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
So, but that's basically the same thing. As long as an electrician actually signs off on it, you'll be okay. But in some other states, you'd have to go apply for a permit to do the room construction. You'd have to hire someone else to do it and all that kind of stuff. But in Texas, they let you do some things like that on your own, but it has nothing to do with large-scale facilities or business properties
these
or
people
anything like that.
are saying they're building in a complete subdivision and stuff.
Right.
I mean, look, subdivisions, you need to stay in code.
Right.
And then you got sewer, you got water, you got a lot of other things to worry about.
Yes.
And electricity.
Yes.
That needs to get there. There's a lot of stuff.
And you know, like we were just kind of talking about a minute ago, most people don't have a problem if they know how to do it, doing it to save the money and then having a qualified person
somebody
come and
sign
look
off
at it.
on it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Like
Okay.
my brother used to be an electrician, And I learned from him a few things, and I learned from my dad a few things, and I learned other things, electrician. I don't mind running electricity. That's not a problem. But my brother will tell you that you have to have a journeyman electrician that you know that will sign for it so that you can get it.
I mean, I went to the redneck school of everything.
Yeah. Hey, if it works and it's within code, you know, what difference does it make? You know, if it works and was within the code.
And nowadays we are blessed to have YouTube.
Yes.
I mean, because if you don't know how to do something, by God, you can go on YouTube and figure that out.
Well, most
people, that damn water pump was wearing me out. And look, you know my source I was going to?
YouTube.
I went to YouTube.
Good for you.
Yeah, try to figure this thing out.
Well, most people can figure it out. There's still people out there that you can show them step by step, and they can't.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
You know what's
Why
so
you
funny?
want to talk about Tom like that? He's not here to defend himself. Monica,
I never said anything.
All right, I'm going to run through these really quick. The Democrats' conduct unbecoming court-martial her and kick her out of her seat. They're not above the law. I agree. And let that little girl's dad have that SOB for 15 minutes, says Sean in Carlsbad. Junior Munoz found your question. Do we got any cokehead listeners? Very funny. He sent it back in. Smokey in Arizona said they want them. They need to go after Africa, their country that they're so proud to be from. The ones that kidnapped their ancestors sold them into slavery, so they need to go after Africa for slave reparations, not America. One thing about reparations is they want the government to pay government taxes. Comes from all races, and it's not fair for other races to pay for slavery reparations when it was white and black people who owned slaves in America.
I did not own slaves, and my family didn't own slaves because we came to America after all of that. So why should I have to pay?
Right.
I have no white guilt. I don't. I treat people, I treat white people the same way I treat brown people and Asian people and black people. I am an a-hole to everybody equally.
Right.
You know, after learning what African Americans went through, I mean, simply, some sympathy and apology. Man, that sucks for, whatever, but move on.
But they didn't go
They didn't go through it, though.
No. I know, but I'm sorry that your ancestors or whatever.
Well, my
went through
ancestors
that.
did too.
Correct, but God only knows what my ancestors.
That's what I'm
went through.
saying.
Sorry that you happen to be the same color of the people that did that, but you're not.
You come to a point in your life where you have to get over stuff
exactly
and move on.
Amen.
You can't keep blaming somebody for 200 plus years ago.
Mm-hmm.
You just can't.
It's just
again, everyone, their race has gone through it at some point in time.
Correct. It's like adults now who blame their bad choices on their bad childhood. No, you've grown up. You have an opportunity to make it right. And do better.
Amen.
My kids went through a terrible childhood. You know what I told them from jump? Quit blaming everything on what happened to you.
Yep.
Exactly.
The best thing you can do, you take it for a lesson and let it never happen to you again.
Exactly.
And learn that you're better than that. And if you do that, you're going to be better. And you are going to be your kids are going to be much better off because you're going to be a better parent by learning from this.
Absolutely. I agree.
Nothing goes ahead of your children. Nothing moves to the front of your kids. Your kids are first.
Mm-hmm.
A to the man.
So, but some people just seem to, it's an excuse.
It's a crutch. Mm-hmm.
That's exactly what it is.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, we're going to talk
100%.
about the National Guard operation in Albuquerque. How much money is that costing us taxpayers? And a cop killer, looks like he's about to be put down. We'll talk about that. And a former Biden medical advisor, did the president have cancer when he was running for election the first time?
Mm-hmm.
We'll talk about that.
Probably.
in just a second. Morning show this morning being brought to you by La Tienda Thriftway. You can find them in Pecos, Texas, 810 Eddie. If you're new to Pecos, maybe working in the oil patch and you're looking for a place to do your grocery shopping, La Tienda Thriftway at 810 Eddie in Pecos. Right now, get the sirloin cut pork chops, $1.49 a pound. Cooked shrimp, $6.99 a pound. Get the split fryer breast, $1.69 a pound. And get the top sirloin steaks for $1. Make that $6.99 a pound. Get the cucumbers, 3 for $1. Avocados, 5-count bag, $2.99. And plus many, many other specials in the deli department. They've got Virginia smoked and off the bone ham for $4.99, and the lemon pepper turkey for $7.49. And Pepsi, Mountain Dew, and Big Red, get it today, 24-pack for $11.99. How much money is it costing us to send the National Guard to Albuquerque? How much is that costing us?
A lot.
I'm going to say at least
And the bigger picture, why should we pay for that?
I bet like $2 million, $2.5 million, something like that. Maybe maybe 3.
2.25 million.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And you know, when they give us a number like that, I'm always thinking, nah, it's going to be more than that. You know, because they always lowball that number.
Right.
So
yeah, it'll be double. by the time it's done.
Michelle Lujan Grisham authorized the National Guard to support the Albuquerque Police Department fighting crime and Operation Zia Shield. And she ordered that, you know, the National Guard gets paid, and they will get paid, and it's going to cost us about $2.25 million. And look, Albuquerque seems to be always getting a break. You know, state police went there, and then National Guard's there. I'm just trying to figure out why. Why the rest of the state should pay this bill? Anybody help me with that? Why should the state pay the bill?
Shouldn't
that be paid by Albuquerque?
It should.
I agree. Could it be that Albuquerque's broke?
I mean, we can't, and it's sad that the Albuquerque PD can't do the job on their own. There is no other, you know, police out there that needs the help of the National Guard, our state police. So why is it that they get a pass?
Because of Tim Keller.
Oh, maybe.
You know,
maybe
buddy with the governor.
It just seems to me that should be coming out of Albuquerque's budget.
It should.
Not out of the state's budget.
It should.
That's crazy. Indiana man who was convicted of killing a police officer 2 decades ago is set to be the second person to be executed in the state of Indiana since 2009. Benjamin Ritchie, 45 years old, scheduled to die of lethal injection coming up today. And unless there's a last minute court action, he will be executed, and has been on death row 20 years. Is that too long to be on death row?
Yes. See, I think that they should, if you have a death penalty in your state, I think that
3 appeals.
Yeah. And I think that there should be a 5-year limit on that, on how long you can file those appeals. Mm-hmm. And then I would have some kind of cushion, like 12 or 18 months after that 5-year mark.
Yeah.
And then that's the day. And then that's it. You're done.
All right. When we come back, we'll hear from multiple doctors talking about Biden's cancer. One was Ezekiel Manuel, who is a doctor, who is a advisor to Biden for COVID, and he was actually the architect of Obamacare. If you've heard Rahm Emanuel, Ezekiel Emanuel believes that Joe Biden probably had cancer when he was running for president, he had prostate cancer.
That's probably true.
Said he doesn't know that for sure, but that's what he's saying. I'll play that cut coming up this morning. Also, flashback to Dr. O'Connor. Why didn't they do a PSA test? That's cheap. It's not costing anybody a whole bunch of money.
Well,
why wouldn't they do a PSA test?
Yeah.
That would tell them pretty quick, look, Trump had a PSA test.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't get it. It's kind of crazy.
Well,
We'll check the weather up next. We got to get to the price of oil, being brought to you by Spinnaker Cementing Solutions, a division of CUD Energy Services. Spinnaker, built to serve the largest drilling programs, and they're ready to go to work for you. They have 25 cementing crews, New Mexico, Texas, and Oklahoma, 200 experienced cementing professionals. Put them to work. Just go to the website, SpinnakerOil.com, or go to 324 North Magnum Industrial Road in Hobbs.
West Texas Intermediate down about 7 cents to 62.62. Brent crude off about 20 cents at 65.34. But natural gas is up 12 cents this morning to $3.24.
All right, we're going to check and find out what's going on with news. We'll get to that coming up in just a second. Quick check of the weather. Being brought to you by North Star Laundry, one-stop shop for all your laundry. They can wash, dry, and fold your clothes, dry clean your clothes, press them, starch them, walk in, drop off your clothes, pick them up at a later date. And don't forget, if you want to take care of your own clothes, they have coin-operated machines, and they're open 7 days a week. 609 West Lee in Carlsbad, 604 West Church in Carlsbad, 406 West Cedar in Loving. North Star Laundry, check them out today. Quick look at the weather. Southeast New Mexico, 83 and sunny. The wind will be less than 10 miles an hour. Good news for Ruidoso. The wind is pretty much gone. Less than 15-mile-an-hour winds today. Sunny and 73. And in Albuquerque, we're talking about less than 10-mile-an-hour winds. Sunny and a high of 80. 5-day forecast. Go to W105radio.com. Let's get you updated with news being brought to you by Roswell Livestock and Farm Supply, 1105 East 2nd in Roswell. Homegrown and proud of it. Farm and Ranch Supplies, they've got you covered. And don't forget, they have all the feed for all of your animals, certified Purina dealer. Plus, they have everything you'll need for a farm or a ranch. Yeah, fencing materials. They've got plumbing supplies, hardware store inside of their store. Plus, they have trailers, tank, tack. They've got all of that. Western wear, work gear. Homegrown and proud of it. 1105 East 2nd in Roswell. Online at RoswellLivestock.com. You can also find them in Capitan at the Lincoln County Mercantile. KWMW Malgamora, 105.1 FM. KWES, 93.5 Ruidoso. And KDAZ, AM 700, FM 96.9 in Albuquerque. Taking a break. We're coming right back. It's already 7:08. We're beyond the Breakfast Club.
MTD Radio News, I'm Blake Ovard. Rented grandstand seating will be used for the National Championship Air Races and Air Show coming September 10th through the 14th, according to Roswell officials. A design for the grandstand had been approved and work had started, but the Federal Aviation Administration inspection in late February determined that it would have partially blocked the view from the Roswell Air Center's control tower of the runway safety area. Runway safety areas serve as the primary safety mitigation for aircraft that unintentionally veer off or miss the end of the runway surface by overshooting it. The FAA refers to these as runway excursions. Because the timeline has become too short to relocate permanent grandstands, a temporary grandstand is going to be used this year. And another piece of Texas lawmakers' efforts to expand the state's appeal for business owners was highlighted during a capital markets bill package signing last week. Governor Greg Abbott, who signed a trio of bills, said they
solidify our status as the best state for doing business for many years to come.
One of the bills Abbott signed into law reduces tax liability for stock traders.
Senate Bill 1058 will exempt stock exchanges operating in Texas, like the NASDAQ, New York Stock Exchange, and our very own Texas Stock Exchange from certain franchise tax liabilities.
The last bill, House Joint Resolution 4, that changes the state constitution and will ban capital gains taxes in Texas, still has to go through voters in November before becoming law.
Voters will vote on this to ensure that we're not going to have a capital gains tax in the state of Texas. The next tax law that I will sign will be a tax law to reduce your property taxes in Texas.
The New Mexico Economic Development Department has launched a Technology and Innovation Office, along with more than $90 million in funding as part of House Bill 20. The new division is said to focus on advancing technology development, innovation, commercialization, and economic growth. The division will absorb the existing Office of Strategy, Science, and Technology. And that's the way it is. I'm Blake Ovard. This is MTD Radio News.
Get ready for the American Legion Post 7 Spring Fishing Derby this Memorial Day weekend. They've stocked the waters, and hidden among them are tagged catfish, including one worth a whopping $1,000. But wait, there's more. Bring your best fishing game because the biggest bass hauled in will snag a great prize. Whether you're a seasoned pro or a first-time caster, this is your chance to reel in the big one. For just a $20 donation, you'll support the local American Legion Post 7, and kids under 12 fish for free. It's family-friendly fun for all ages. Sign-ups begin May 23rd at 1 p.m. at the scenic Lower Tansill Dam, kicking off 2 full days of fishing fun on Saturday, May 24th and Sunday, May 25th. And trust them, there are plenty more tag fish and exciting prizes just waiting to be hooked, including the biggest catfish worth $500. A special shout-out to the core sponsors, Varco Electric and Silver Bullet Trucking. This message is proudly brought to you by the Carlsbad Lodgers Tax, supporting local events and tourism.
Every year, thousands of nursing home and assisted living residents face neglect and mistreatment. But as an ombudsman, you can be a voice for those who often go unheard. And we're looking for volunteers. Ombudsmen advocate for residents' rights and ensure quality care. It's an incredibly fulfilling experience. I know because I am one. Whether you're retired or just starting your career, your dedication and compassion will make a significant impact. Learn about volunteering as an ombudsman today at aging.nm.gov/volunteer. Sponsored by this station and the NMBA.
Guns, and more guns. Available now at Benny's Western Store in Artesia. New guns, used guns, lots and lots of guns are arriving weekly at Benny's. They still have plenty of boots, hats, shirts, and jeans, as well as purses and accessories for the ladies. Don't forget that Benny's always has free gift wrapping. Benny's Western Store, 205 West Main in Artesia.
New Mexico small business owners, listen up. Resources are available to help you start, grow, and thrive your business. SSBCI 2.0 offers new small businesses the funding, training, and support you need to get your business off the ground. Have an established business but need additional funding and resources? SSBCI 2.0 is the place for you. Visit edd.newmexico.gov to get started. That's edd.newmexico.gov. Sponsored by this station and the NMBA.
Hey, man, turn that down. Where's my keys?
Hey, what's the rush?
I'm headed to the JC to sign up for some classes.
What's the hurry? We barely graduated.
I heard classes are filling up.
So what, you're gonna be a scientist or something?
Man, I could be a welder, police officer, barber, or maybe even a nurse. They make bank.
Yeah, right.
They even have audio and video classes for you.
Really? Hold up. Let me get my keys and I'll drive.
Just roll on out to New Mexico Junior College and register at nmjc.edu today.
It's time once again to get your nominations in for the annual Hobbs Chamber of Commerce Community Awards. The annual banquet is June 19th, and all nominations are due by 5 p.m. Monday, June 2nd. Categories include Outstanding Educator, Outstanding Public Safety Officer, Outstanding Young Man, and Outstanding Young Woman for ages 18 to 40, and Outstanding Citizen. You can get your nomination forms online at hobbschamber.org or by emailing executive@hobbschamber.org. Again, nominations for the annual Hobbs Chamber of Commerce Outstanding Educator, Outstanding Public Safety Officer, Outstanding Young Man and Woman, and Outstanding Citizen are due by 5 p.m. Monday, June 2nd. Get your forms online at hobbschamber.org.
Your morning show powered by your Ford dealer. Be in the Breakfast Club being powered by Permian Ford. Be in the Breakfast Club. The human brain starts working the moment you are born and never stops. Unless you're Tom Hay.
Did you just have a brain fart?
Call or text now, 877-396-W105 to talk to B and the Breakfast Club.
Now with the most information for you to start your day.
Wow.
Guaranteed.
This is not headline news. Netflix has signed a streaming deal with Sesame Street. But to satisfy the typical Netflix audience, a different Muppet will go mysteriously missing each week. The U.S. has lost its last perfect credit rating. So now the Treasury Department is applying for a prepaid Capital One card. What's in your wallet, America? And surgeons conducted the world's first bladder transplant. Not only was it a success, the patient is ready to participate in Diddy's next freak-off. This is not headline news.
That's just wrong. That's just wrong.
Have you read?
You know what I find really, really strange? Tom hasn't called in 2 days. Am I the only one that finds that strange?
No.
Well, he didn't answer your call, her call, my text. Why is he going to call in? He's mad at us.
Dude.
What's he mad at me for?
I don't know.
Good morning.
Because you're Kevin.
Are you up?
Oh,
I'm the one that
what are you
kept him
doing?
floating for many years. Hold on a second. I'm trying to get my charger hooked.
Okay. There you go.
I'm texting him.
All right. You're back to normal.
Still not charging, though.
Oh.
Something ain't right. Nah, I'll check it during the break.
Is it plugged in?
Are you
it is. That's what I'm just saying. I see the lights on, but it's not charging. According to a brand new study, 1 in 4 Americans say that the country is a total failure when it comes to physical and mental health. Well, that's not really the country's fault that, that everybody is overweight, anxious, and depressed. It's not really the country's fault. I mean, won't you take some of the blame? Is everything blamed on the country?
Everything.
No. CNT, latest survey came out. The average American is spending about $1,080 per year on subscription services. Wow. No wonder Max is changing their name to HBO Max.
Well,
because everybody's maxing out the credit card.
They used to be HBO, and then they changed it to HBO Max because I think they did away with Cinemax.
No, what they did, they were HBO Max, and then they changed the name to just Max.
Right.
And now they're changing it back to HBO Max. So I don't get it.
I never understood why they dropped the HBO anyway, because that was the more common name.
Yeah. On average, subscribers are spending about $17 a month on subscriptions that they don't use. That's $200 a year, and which is shocking because I thought the only thing Americans spent money on and didn't use would be a gym membership. And no, Tom, I'm not talking about you. Just, gym memberships.
Did he text you back?
No.
Me either.
Sunday night, Jessica Simpson performed on TV for the first time in 15 years as part of American Idol season finale. She has just kind of went off the grid.
She has.
Doing her own thing.
Well,
she got remarried and decided that she, was going to do what she did.
Well, for a long time, she was the poster child of low intelligence woman. And then AOC came along and said, "Hold my beer."
That dethroned her for sure.
Well, I know that. I don't know if she's actually designing the clothes, but her name is on a clothing line.
Yeah,
at Walmart.
I did see that. Yeah,
at Walmart.
Yeah. At Walmart because
but they were bigger than that. She was bigger than that and reduced to Walmart. Maybe after things weren't selling the way she thought they were going to sell. So they were like, we'll sell it at Walmart. Those people buy anything. The Who drummer, Zach Starkey.
Yeah. Which is Ringo's son.
Yeah, fired for the second time ahead of their farewell tour.
He has
Ringo
problems.
Starr's son.
He's
got some.
Yeah, he has issues.
He was just rehired in April.
Now,
they already fired him.
Now you think about this. The Who's original drummer, Keith Moon, right? Known to be a wild child, right? Known to have problems.
This guy's got to be really, really wild.
Right.
Woo. This guy's going to be really wild. All right, we're going to check in on the text. We'll talk about China's economy. Everybody wants to make it out. Oh, China's doing great with these tariffs. Everything is awesome. I'm going to tell you the truth coming up next. 20 minutes away from 20 minutes after the hour of 7. We're Beyond the Breakfast Club morning show this morning being brought to you by Zia Guns, 1907 North Payne in Roswell. Over 1,000 guns in stock. Handguns, rifles, shotguns, they've got them all. Personal protection. Ladies, if you've been thinking about getting personal protection, let this be known they have lethal and non-lethal personal protection. Go in there and chat with them. And they have over 1,000 guns in stock. I guarantee you'll find something you're looking for. And if you're looking to trade in your gun to get a better gun, they can do that. They'll buy your gun if you want to sell your gun. And stop in and see the expert staff today at Zia Guns. They're in Roswell at 1907 North Payne. Call them 575-622-0023. 1907 North Payne in Roswell at Zia Guns. Closed Saturday, always open on Sunday. China's economy stumbling as it fails to shake off the Trump tariffs. That was a gut punch. New economic data showing that China's industries continuing to struggle in wake of the reciprocal tariffs. Retail sales in China was down about 5.1%. And look, they lost 5 million jobs is what they were gone. When the tariffs, they were closing down factories. The ships weren't being shipped to America. And you're trying to make me believe that everything is okay in China? No, it wasn't. Now the numbers are out. It doesn't look good for China. Right. Now the tariffs are back to a reasonable factor. Goods will start being shipped to America. Things will be better. And America comes to the rescue of the Chinese people. That's the way I'm selling the story. Don't try to change my mind. That's the way I'm selling it. Yeah. But there are Americans out there that are pulling for China and want America to lose. Wild. They don't like America a whole bunch. All right, take it out trash. We're going to get to that. Also, things that happened on this date in history. I'll check the weather again. Looks good for all of our listening area. We'll check that out in just a second. Rio Rancho man faces criminal charges after he allegedly collided with another vehicle while under the influence of alcohol, leaving at least one person injured. Vincent Leonard Coffey, 35 years old, has been charged with one count of driving under the influence of intoxication or drug-related, and with greater bodily harm, abuse to a child resulting to greater bodily harm, and abuse to a child and failing to yield the right-of-way for an oncoming vehicle, according to the court records. Chaves County Magistrate Judge James Mason ordered Coffey released. And following his court appearance, the complaint alleges that a woman who was seated in the front seat of a white Toyota Highlander that Coffey collided with sustained broken ribs. Other passengers in the Highlander vehicle complained of injuries, but the complainant did not specify where they were injured. Witnesses say the crash told the investigators that the moment before the crash, a Silva Honda CRV that was driven by Coffey was in the turning lane of the relief route when it turned left right into the Highlander. So he was driving under the influence and has been charged with multiple charges. Complaint also alleges that Coffey purposely entered the intersection recklessly with the intent to harm or injure others with no regard to the safety of that 2-year-old child who was with him at the time. Polling numbers show Donald Trump doing good. In fact, there were 4 polls that they were looking at on Newsmax, and Donald Trump's approval rating's at 47%. By the way, one of the other polls, the Harvard poll, says 48%. Harris poll said 49%. Daily Mail poll says 50%.
Wow.
Now, I will say this much. In light of the tornadoes that happened over the weekend, I haven't heard anything that Donald Trump is going to that area. Have you seen anything about that?
No.
Me either, which I find very, very strange because usually he's on top of that.
Right.
Now, I have read stories on left-leaning websites that I don't believe that FEMA is turning people down for help. I don't believe that.
Yeah.
No.
But the president needs to get there and check on those people.
Yes.
Relatively quick. Look, when he wasn't president and things happened in, where was that, North Carolina? He was there very, very quick.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So the president, before the end of the week, I would think, should be there. And maybe the trip is already planned. But I looked for that this morning and didn't see anything. All right, we're going to talk about Big Spring resident scores how much money? Scratch-off ticket? We'll get to that. 726 morning show this morning being brought to you by Atlas Makeup Mirror and Grooming Tool. Time 1 times 5 times 10 magnification with LED lights. Travel's easy. And look at weighs less than 4 pounds and comes with a traveling case. Give Rebecca Long a call today or go to the website and order right from the website. Mention W105. You're going to get 25% off. Code Road W105. 575-631-3189 or atlasmakeamirror.com. And right now, they've got specials on the pocket mirrors. Pocket mirrors are just $29.99 for the smaller mirror and then $39.99 for the larger mirror. So check those out today. atlasmakeamirror.com for more information. 726. Go ahead, Monica.
Jessica Simpson ain't too stupid. She's worth
she's dumb as a
$200
post.
million, says Kathy from the
Well,
back.
she's worth $200 million, but that doesn't say anything to her intelligence, Kathy. She is dumb as a post, but she made her money. I mean, early on.
Sure.
She is a talented singer. I mean, her early stuff, and she looked okay back then. I haven't seen her in a long time, so I don't know.
She had her time whenever I was like in junior high and high
Wasn't she
school.
married to some dude?
Nick Lachey?
Yeah.
She was married to Nick Lachey from
98 Degrees.
not Insane. Yeah, 90. Yeah.
They had.
They were a beautiful couple.
Well, they had some TV show, and that's where her stupidity really came to light.
Right. Right.
Like, could barely open a door. Kind of dumb.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, there was some alcohol abuse going on also. Let's not forget that.
Monica Hader said maybe Hunter Biden will call in and let you know the value of that, whatever y'all were talking about. Even
The
if
cocaine.
Oh.
Or whatever it was in the seats.
Even if my
Yeah.
family owned slaves, why do I have to pay? This isn't North Korea with generations of punishment, says a texter.
Amen.
I don't know how these people have all the time on their hands to complain about needing reparations and everything else they complain about. I leave my house before 5 every morning. I get home after 5 every day. I've been working like this since I was 14. It's time for people to just move on, get a job, take care of your own business, take care of your own family.
Amen.
Quit asking
Amen.
everybody else to do for them what they can do for themselves. Travis from Roswell,
You
you
know,
need to write a
quit
book.
looking at the
100%.
ground.
Exactly.
Quit looking at the ground.
And quit looking
Look-
at other
look-
people's
look up.
lives. Just work. That I
Yeah,
made a
make
post about
your
that
life
yesterday.
you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like when I hear someone blaming their past for everything, I always ask them, so how long are you gonna let that control you? It usually shuts them up. A to the men. Pay the reparations at the then prevailing wages. Then subtract out of that for food, housing, clothing, healthcare, and transportation. And breasts are $1.69 a pound. Heck yeah. Ha 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 ha, says Sean in Carlsbad. And Mike from Edgewood says, because Tiny Tim Keller is MLG's buddy.
Yep.
Yeah. Sad but true.
Mexicans are still slaves these days out
They're
there putting
not.
food on your table. I don't receive that.
No.
Oh, please.
That's
You act
that
like there have
statement
never
is
been
racist at
any
its
white
core.
farmers ever. That is so racist.
Right.
It really is. You act like there aren't any black farmers out there.
Right.
You act like there aren't any Asian farmers out there.
Trucker Ben says Muslims are not your friends. They hate Americans. They have told you a long time ago that they will take America over from within. Quit wearing blinders.
They did.
Quit supporting the Muslims. Jared Sanders says David Koresh tried to build a little community in Texas. How did that work out? Ooh. Cole Hanlon says the American Indian tribes are the only race worried of any consideration for reparations.
Amen. Amen.
And Rocket says, Monica, good morning. Isn't it a federal crime to call for the death of a president? You know,
Supposed to be.
It's supposed to be, but with the whole freedom of speech sort of type thing, I don't know that you would even get in trouble for that because you can say whatever. But I don't know.
Yeah, but there is a line drawn unless it's a Democrat, it's a Republican. You remember Madonna said she wanted to blow up the White House.
Yep.
All right. So I'm not going to mention this person's name because I don't want to give him that reputation, but somebody, it is a him. I will tell you that. He said roughly $1,075,200 if you broke all of the 70 pounds of Coke up and sold it by an 8-ball and didn't cut the Coke or anything either.
Huh.
Wow.
Okay, guys.
Well, thank you.
I'm not going to be judgmental or
No,
anything.
we have listeners from the entire
Oh, they
spectrum.
just know that information. They probably looked it up on YouTube, I bet. Yeah.
Look, I am appreciative that we have an audience that if we don't know something, we can ask and someone does. That's what I'm saying.
When Jessica Simpson fell off is when she got with Tony Romo. What do y'all think? No, because she was already like.
Yeah, but wasn't that after Carrie Underwood, before Carrie Underwood got with her hockey player? What's his name?
Well, maybe.
I don't know.
Frank in the Patch says, I love overtime.
And by the way, if that does not pass, blame the Democrats.
Correct.
Because, I mean, let's talk about this for a second. If the big, beautiful bill does not pass, that means the Trump tax cuts go away. Do you understand what that means? That means your taxes will increase.
Yep.
They won't decrease. They will increase because they will revert back to where they were before Trump took office the first time.
It's a middle class tax cut.
And so, and by the way, if you make over $400,000, you're going to pay a little bit more taxes. If you make over $1 million, you're going to pay a little bit more taxes. Do we got anybody that makes over $1 million a year? Listen, I mean, I don't want you to mention your name. Just tell me you make over $1 million. I just like to know if we have $1 million listener. If you make over $1 million, don't play with me either.
I bet we do.
I'm going to do a background check.
I bet we do. I bet we do.
Sure.
I mean, I know a few people in this area who are millionaires who I know listen to this show.
Yeah, probably the guy that's cutting up the damn Coke.
No, I'm talking about.
But he ain't getting taxed.
You think about how many independent oil people we know that listen to our show, and cattlemen, and landmen, and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
And just hard
Big
workers.
Spring
I mean, I know some hard workers.
Good hard-working people. Big Spring resident scored a $5 million payday from a scratcher ticket purchased at Uncle's and on the service road in Big Spring. Winner remains anonymous at this point. By the way, it's the second of the 4 top prizes worth $5 million that have been claimed on that game. But Big Spring, Texas resident wins $5 million. Now, how much money do they get after taxes? That about 2.5?
No,
Maybe.
yeah, no, that's probably about right. I bet it's 2.5 to 2.7.
Okay.
Would be in that range.
I mean, look, do you think you can live off $2.5 million for the rest of your life without working?
Nope.
No.
Well, I mean,
now back in the day, you probably could.
Well, it depends. I mean, there is probably a way that you could invest to have that money coming back through annual
maybe
dividends.
live off and that was a thing back in the day. You could take $1 million and live off the interest, but I just don't know if you could do that now.
No, you would have to combine that for a couple of different things. You'd have to be aggressive with interest, but also with dividends.
Yeah.
And you might have to lower your standard of living. Like, how much are you planning on getting a year?
You know, I'd rather work and up the standard of living.
Right.
Man accused of attacking a young girl outside a restaurant in Albuquerque will stay in jail. We talked about this story yesterday. 8-year-old, he put a broken bottle to her neck. She needed 19 stitches. It's not like he put it to her neck and didn't do anything. She needed 19 stitches. She survived. By the way, the judge said, no. You're going to stay in jail until your trial. And by the way, his trial date has not been scheduled yet. Joe Biden speaking out about his cancer yesterday. First time speaking out about his shocking cancer diagnosis. And he appreciates the love and support. Of course, he's 82 years old. So I wanted to do this. I wanted to play a flashback of his health because his doctor, Dr. O'Connor, said everything was good with Joe. Everything was good. Listen, everything is good with Joe.
President's health. It is. Are you going to come to the briefing room to address us? Probably not. Could that change before the end of his term? And how is his mental cognition?
It's excellent.
It's excellent. Is there a reason you didn't perform a cognitive test on him?
Don't need to. He's here every day.
He's good every day?
Yeah,
What about
I mean, why? He's here every day. Why I got to do a cognitive test? Why I got to do a PSA test, see if his prostate's good? I mean, he's here every day. He's peeing every day.
Well, I mean, that's the logic, right?
He's stuttering every
I mean,
day.
if the flow ain't good, but he's peeing every day.
Wow.
But then here's the guy that worked with the Obamas. He was the guy that created Obamacare. Zeke Emanuel, his brother, the godfather of Chicago, Ron Emanuel. He's also a guy that put up all kinds of information and helped the Bidens when it came to COVID. He was on MSNBC. Listen carefully what he had to say about Biden. He probably had cancer when he was running for president.
If this prostate cancer has spread to the bone, that he could have had it for up to a decade, but certainly it's likely, would it be fair to say, it's likely to have had this for at least several years?
Oh, more than several years. You don't get prostate cancer.
So again, I just want to stop you. So this is not speculation. If you have prostate cancer that is spread to the bone, then he's most certainly, you are saying, had it when he was president of the United States.
Oh, yeah. He did not develop it in the last 100, 200 days. He had it while he was president. He probably had it at the start of his presidency in 2021.
So isn't this information that the American public should know about?
Yes. And again, you know, if it has metastasized to the bone, I agree with him, because otherwise, you're the president of the United States. You tell me you're not undergoing treatment for that?
Wow. You don't tell anybody about it?
Yeah.
The American people are not aren't told about the president being sick. We're not told about his cognitive ability.
Because he wasn't running the country.
Yeah.
He was just a
doubt.
placeholder.
No doubt. So Donald Trump talked about it yesterday at the White House. Here's what he had to say inside the Oval Office.
Cancer, are you going to call your predecessor?
I think it's very sad, actually. I'm surprised that it wasn't, the public wasn't notified a long time ago. Because to get to stage 9, that's a long time. I just had my physical. You saw that. You saw the results of that particular test. I think that test is standard to pretty much anybody getting a physical, good physical. We had the doctors at the White House and over at Walter Reed, which is a fantastic hospital, do it. I did a very complete physical, including cognitive tests. I'm proud to announce I aced it. Got them all. I got them all right. You proud of me? Yes. Your husband would be proud of me for getting them all right. It's a little risk. If I didn't get them all right, these people would be after me. It would be not a good situation. But I think, frankly, anybody running for president should take a cognitive test. They say it's unconstitutional, but I would say in that particular case, having a cognitive test wouldn't be so.
I believe that our legislators should take a cognitive test.
100%.
I think they should.
Well, they're already on the government dime. They're already on the government health care. Why not?
Why not?
They get free health care. Why wouldn't we check that? All right, Trump, part 2 of this went on talking about Biden. Here's what he had to say.
If you take a look, it's the same doctor that said that Joe was cognitively fine. There was nothing wrong with him. Well, he said, if it's the same doctor, he said there was nothing wrong there, and that's being proven to be a sad situation. And the auto pen is becoming a very big deal. The auto pen is becoming a big deal because it seems like that maybe was the president who ever operated the auto pen. But when they say that that was not good, they also, you have to look and you have to say that the test was not so good either. In other words, there are things going on that the public wasn't informed. And I think somebody's going to have to speak to his doctor, if it's the same, or even if it's 2 separate doctors. Why wasn't the cognitive ability, why wasn't that discussed? And I think the doctor said he's just fine, and it's turned out.
And when it comes to this auto pen, they're saying this could be bigger than Watergate.
It should be bigger than Watergate.
It should be. It should be.
All
right,
look. If anybody says Watergate was bigger, look, that was somebody that recorded conversations in a political organization. This is dealing directly with the presidency of the United States.
Much, much bigger. All right, still to come, we're going to hear about an update on the boat that, of course, the Mexican boat. We'll get an update on that in just a second. Text lines open, 877-396-W105. 699 arrests made. Operation Route 66. That's when all the drug task force come together, and Bernalillo Sheriff, the Bernalillo County District Attorney's Office, State Police, New Mexico Corrections Department. I think actually the U.S. Marshals part of that, but they made 699 arrests, and they put about 230 people behind bars so far, and they took a lot of drugs off the street. Good job. Man convicted of kidnapping and rape in Albuquerque 19 years ago. He raped a woman 19 years ago. Eric Lee was 26 at the time, approached a woman in a parking lot in Albuquerque on Manal in Wyoming in 2006, forced her into his car, and then took her to a secluded area and raped her. Lee was arrested again in 2019. And by the way, the DNA from 2006 came up on the rape kit, and he has also been charged with that kidnapping and rape from 2019, and he was convicted yesterday of criminal sexual penetration, and of course his sentencing hearing has not been set yet. That's coming up in July. Louisiana State Police captured the 4th escaped inmate Blake, you keeping up with this? This governor has had nothing good to say about Orleans County, Orleans Parish, I should say, saying they are a perfect example of woke liberals and not good. But they've arrested the fourth, and these people, this last one they arrested, he was a convicted murderer.
Yeah. It's
nuts. He was arrested yesterday.
How does this happen? Right, without incompetency, all the way to the top.
Exactly.
Yep.
I mean, I don't.
This guy was a murderer. Chances of him murdering somebody else are probably fairly large.
Right.
And they found him at a home not very far from the prison.
Hiding, right, or squatting?
Yeah. They and they haven't said, but the people that he was there at the home with, I would think they should be charged also. I would hope they should be charged. Illegal aliens being recruited to join a sophisticated criminal network in the United States, and they are teaching these folks how to get big payoffs from the government and even stage injuries for large payoffs, fake accidents.
Yeah.
Look, every time somebody falls off that border wall, we pay about $1 million to their family members.
Well, and this is also talking about, when they go out and they stage auto accidents and cause you to run into them.
Right.
Same kind of thing.
Well, this has been going on. Those type of accidents. I remember I was approached many years ago by a friend that lived in Houston, and he was like, all you got to do is bring your car, we'll stage him. I was like, oh, hell no. Oh, you're going to get paid, bro. You're going to get paid. Oh, hell no. No. He goes, and you're going to get paid more money because you're white. I was like, get the hell out of here. No, thank you.
You're funny sometimes.
No way. New Mexico Environmental Department set to receive $2 million grant that puts towards local property assessments, according to the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency. Some of the places that will undergo the environmental site assessments include Springer, Cuba, Clovis, and Artesia. EPA says that these sites in particular will be looked at, including the Artesia General Hospital site, where there was a dry cleaner facility there for a long, long time. So they're going to be looking at the Artesia site among all those sites. And the third person arrested in Raton, part of that jail drug smuggling scheme that has been going on. Third person, Marianne Romero, accused of giving drugs to Amber Salazar, an officer at the detention center in Raton. And so she could get him inside. She was, and you remember the story, her husband is the one that reported the activity to the police. Her husband. Evidently, he's not she's not high in regards. He was like, I'm going to turn you in. Well, and the bigger story was she was a guard, but also having relations with somebody in the facility. Boy, they can do so much for you, right?
Yeah.
Unbelievable. All right, Memorial Day sales going on at La Tienda and Pecos. Get the Fryer leg quarters, 49 cents a pound. Boneless beef brisket, $3.48 a pound. Fresh pork spare ribs, $1.77 a pound. And the Boston Butt pork roast, $1.29 a pound. Also, from the produce department, get sweet corn, 5 ears for only $1. Get the seedless watermelons, $5.99 each. Jalapenos. Get jalapenos for 99 cents a pound. Cantaloupes for $1.99 a pound. And also get the Food Club sodas, 12-pack. Get all the flavors. Get 3 12-packs for $12. Get them today along with Lay's potato chips, $4.99. Get regular price $4.99. Get 2 bags for $5. And don't forget hamburger and hot dog buns and more. Check them out today. La Tienda in Pecos, Texas. All right, update on the accident with the Mexican. They call it the Mexican Navy, but that makes it out to be the Mexican Navy is, riding around in an 1,800-year-old ship. So I'm not going to call them the next Mexican Navy. You know what I'm saying, Blake.
But they were members of the Mexican Navy.
They were, but it's not. It's a training.
Are you saying they're more modern than that?
I think they're a little bit more modern than a ship that was built in 1804. You're killing me. But here's an update on what happened over the weekend.
The ship was departing from Pier 17, where it was heading out to sea. The pilot, the captain that was maneuvering the ship, lost, power of the ship and the current. Mechanical function caused the ship to go right into the pillar of the bridge, hitting the mast of the ship where there was a couple of sailors on top of it. These sailors were injured as a result of the mast striking the bridge. Today about...
So he's saying that it was not a pilot that was involved in this. Remember yesterday we were thinking that it was the pilot on the tugboat that was to blame. He's saying no, they were, maneuvering the ship, and the malfunction caused them to hit the mast to hit the.
Well, here's the interesting thing then. Now this is in New York, but in Baltimore, the ship that hit the bridge also lost power while trying to navigate out. What is causing these ships to lose power?
I don't know. And, I was thinking today about all these problems with the, Newark. And then there was another, airport that had problems. They lost, they lost radio. And a part of me wants to know, anybody else believes that somebody is sabotaging this to make the Trump administration look bad?
Sure. That's what the left does.
Yeah.
I'm starting to believe that somebody is sabotaging. I could be 100% wrong, but a part of me is believing that there is somebody sabotaging this to, and a lot of people are like, I'm not flying out of Newark, and I'm not blaming them. I am not blaming them. I got to check my ticket, see if I'm flying to Newark. No, I'm going to Los Angeles.
I was going to say, I hope not. That's all the way across the country and back.
No,
kind of frustrating.
All right, we're going to get to taking out trash. Ashley Babbitt's family, Trump administration paying out $5 million to settle Ashley Babbitt's wrongful death suit. You know, it's amazing. We really don't hear about the cop that shot Ashley Babbitt. Was he reprimanded for shooting somebody that was climbing out of a window? Not into a window, out of a window.
I don't know. I don't
Nothing.
know.
Nothing. Absolutely nothing. But Trump administration has agreed to pay $5 million to Ashley Babbitt's mother. And Blake, you were in the newspaper business for a while. I'm going to read this headline, the way it's written.
Okay.
It says, New Mexico legislature honors Las Cruces police chief for park shooting response. When I first read it, I'm like, so are they honoring? I get the response part at the end, but the wording is a little off. Anyway, the police chief in Las Cruces, Jeremy Story, and his department looks like the legislature is going to honor them for the way that they rushed to that shooting. 3 people were killed and 15 others were injured.
And I understand what you're saying. And first of all, for a headline, it's way too long, right? I mean, headlines, they shouldn't be that long. But
So-
they didn't need to say park shooting. They could have just said response. Honor
Right.
police chief for response.
So a man and 3 juveniles have been charged in that shooting, and their court dates have not come up yet. Bad news for people that are on PNM. The largest private equity firm in the world has entered into a deal to buy PNM's parent company. Blake, why is this bad?
Because they like to shut things down.
And
you're
they
gonna-
like to overcharge because their bottom line is all they care about.
Yeah, and the other thing about that is don't count on any upgrades anytime soon, because that costs them money.
Yeah. So we'll see if that gets approved, but they have at least entered into a deal to buy PNM. Now that has to be approved, correct?
Yes. Yeah, that's not. A lot of those big
not-
business things, they go through a lot of scrutiny before it actually goes through.
And PNM has energy systems in New Mexico and Texas. So that's probably going to be a fairly long time before that is approved.
Does PNM, they're what, like Amarillo area? Is that where they are?
Yeah.
I think
I think that's,
okay.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, let's get to taking out trash. Already 4 minutes away from the hour of 8. We're BN the Breakfast Club, KWMW, Maljamar, 105.1 FM, 93.5 KWES, Ruidoso, and KDAZ, AM 700, FM 96.9 in Albuquerque. Taking out trash being brought to you by Trash Eaters, trash-eaters.com, or call Kayleen, 575-408-1719. They offer to haul away all your waste. Yeah, they do residential trash pickup. They also do commercial waste hauling, and they have the big roll-off containers. They can drop one off at your location today. Get with Kayleen, 575-408-1719, trash-eaters.com. I really don't feel bad for this guy, Joe Exotic. This guy has had a tough time.
What is he into right now?
Jail.
Well,
and cancer.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean he's had a tough time, but you probably saw Tiger King on Netflix. I'm gonna admit I have never watched it,
Look,
but
it was.
You watched it, Blake?
Yeah, it was all that bitch Carol Baskin's fault.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, he revealed that his husband, Jorge Flores Maldonado, was taken by immigration authorities after being released from prison. Exotic, whose real name is Joseph Allen Maldonado Passage, posted the news on Instagram that his husband has been taken away, and he's pleading with Donald Trump and Stephen Miller to bring him back.
Is that the kid with no teeth?
Maybe.
No, that was his boyfriend. He met this guy in prison. They officially took him away to an ICE detention center for his hearing, either that he'll be able to stay and come back to Big Papi or go back to Mexico. By the way, Miller, that's his real name, isn't it? Joe Exotic.
Yeah.
It's been a tough time for him. He's lost his Tigers, and now he's losing Tony Maldonado, his Tiger in the tank. And they're taking him back and to Mexico. So he's begging the president if they could let him come back home. Sorry, Joe. Sorry. I don't think it's going to happen.
You need to watch that series.
Oh, it's hilarious. It came out right when.
By the way,
COVID
in
hit.
his letter, he said, in his letter to Trump, he said, I know you're not fond of my lifestyle, but I support you. Just allow me to bring my husband back from Mexico.
The way you
Big
say
Papi
it,
should be home with me. Oh. Joe, I'm sorry he's not coming back. Unless you're on parole or probation, you can always go to Mexico.
Oh my gosh.
Something tells me that, I don't know, maybe you can become friends with the family of El Chapo. I think they still have a tiger you can take care of there.
I think he's still in
Sorry,
jail.
it's not going to happen. Sad story. Take it out the trash.
Oh gosh.
All right, looks
You need to
like
watch
irregular sleep patterns are linked to heart disease. So if you do not say, just irregular, it's not so much that you get 8 hours sleep a day. If you get 4 and then get 5 and then get 8, and then just irregular sleep, you have a higher risk of cardiovascular events, including heart attacks, strokes, and that type of stuff, according to a brand new study. So even out those sleep, sleep 8 hours a day. I've never slept 8 hours.
I was going to say 8 hours. What if you only get 4?
Yeah, eight seems a lot to me. It really does.
Like, I'm blessed if I get 4.
Yeah. Straight up 8 o'clock. Straight up 8 o'clock morning show this morning being brought to you by State Representative District 61, Randy Pettigrew, reminding you the governor continues to attack our way of life and businesses and our freedoms, and even from time to time does things that aren't good for our kids. Look, 4-day-a-week school works. The governor didn't like it, though. That's when, legislators fight back. And Randy is a conservative. He is a conservative voice in Santa Fe when he goes up there. Special session, probably going to have another one of those. Randy will be there fighting. Want to keep up with what's going on in Santa Fe? Get the newsletter. Sign up today at randallpettigrew.com. Message paid for by Randy Pettigrew. Monica, quickly, we'll get to things that happened on this date in history.
We should do the same as other countries. You climb the wall, you will be shot dead on sight for invasion of our country. And come on, Kevin, you know you did it, LOL, says Mark from Roswell. And come on, guys, y'all should figure this out. The doctor in question was Fauci, and you were talking yesterday about him disappearing by 4th of July. Same doctor may be the one giving him the jab. Oh.
I'm telling you, that's my prediction.
You need another COVID vaccine, Joe.
My prediction is still by the 4th. Y'all say Christmas, I say the 4th.
Smokey in Arizona says, according to Whoopi Goldberg, he wouldn't have kept that from the American people.
Oh, of course he wouldn't.
Chief says, everyone needs to realize that they are closer to being a millionaire, and Elon Musk is. So don't give up. Get out there and get yours. Karma's a MFer, Joe Biden. And I guarantee you, I could live off of $2.5 million and live well, says this texter. We are paying reparations.
No, I could do it. I could do it here in the Philippines quite easy.
Yes.
I might have to get divorced, but I might have to get a divorce, but I could probably do it.
You could. Again, it depends on. No, I'm saying you could do it here, but a lot depends on what lifestyle you want to lead, how much you want to take personal responsibility for. If you're someone who has to have an expensive house, an expensive car, and you go out to eat all the time and all that kind of stuff, then you can't.
Right.
But if you just want to have a little garden, a little house, a little something,
a little house on the prairie,
you could do that. Yeah, you could do that.
You could do it. You can do it.
It just depends on what you want your lifestyle to be.
Yeah, your lifestyle. You choose it.
So I'm just thinking that you're going to have to get, until he comes back, maybe give an hourly update on Tom.
Hourly?
Just one every hour, maybe? I don't know, because we've got people
All right, let me do the hourly update on Tom. We called, we went. We don't know how Tom is because he didn't answer his phone. He didn't respond to text, and he didn't answer the horn being blown at his place yesterday. So we had no idea on where, but he was a little better. He was a little better. So he is awaiting coming back to work as soon as he brings in a doctor's release, and then he can come back on the air.
Correct. Travis from
I'm not
Ross.
speaking for Will Rooney, though. Let me tell you that.
Right.
Travis from Roswell said, my wife keeps telling me that we're going to be millionaires as soon as she wins the lottery. I'll let you know. LOL. Frosty from the Patch says, hey, can we get the Parakeet song just for the vibe, please? And that editor chick says, Tom, now's your time to call in.
That's your sign song.
There you go.
That editor chick says, if someone is biracial, in this case black and white, does the white parent owe the non-white parent something? That's good.
Oh, man.
And
You should dive into that, Kevin.
Yeah, I mean, look, my kids are biracial, and everybody just assumes they're Mexican because they're brown.
But would you owe their mother something in reparations?
I'm gonna be honest with you, Blake. You're about to make me cuss on the air. I don't owe that anything. In fact, she owes me about $30,000 in child support.
Yeah, well, there you go.
By the way, I didn't cuss on the air. I came close.
That's a word you can say, though.
Juicy's #1 fan said, update on Tom brought to you by Diabetes Anonymous.
I like what John from Eunice said.
John from Eunice says, guys, Tom is mad at you because you were right about him and his health. Typical liberal reaction. It's your fault he got sick, not his fault, and he would shove everything he could find that would fit in his pie hole in there and never exercise. It's true, Tom, and you know it. No, so on Sunday when I talked to him twice on Sunday. In the afternoon, he was about to go skinny dipping at the core. And I said, okay, go get your workout on. go swim.
Well, that's not a good look.
Then I talked to him Sunday evening. I apologize.
Were you trained in
He had already had somebody come and clean his house. He paid her $100, but he still needed me to come and vacuum and stuff.
Did you do it?
No.
Okay.
I told him, I said, you paid somebody $100. What did they go in there and do?
You need pay too.
Absolutely.
Well, I'm just going to be honest with you guys. I would have to witness it before I see it. As
That's
cheap
what I
as
told
Tom
him.
is,
right?
He would want somebody else to pay.
And then he said that he met with the person that he's selling the bus to. But these are all the things that I told him, okay, Tom, as soon as you get out of the hospital and you get out and you're able to do stuff, we need to make a plan for how you're going to move forward. You can't live in the bus anymore. So go forward with the cell, blah, blah, blah. So
well,
I
the
think
problem
he just told
is,
me what
where
I
are
wanted
you going
to
to
hear.
live?
That's
Where
what
are
he
you
said.
going to live?
He
I
needs
asked
to
him.
go to
Because-
assisted living.
I asked him, I said, so if you've already met with them, you guys made a deal, where are you going to live? He goes, oh, they told me that I didn't have to rush to move out. And I'm like, okay.
We'll see about that.
Yeah.
God bless. All right, let's get to things that happened on this date in history because it's already 8:07. Things that happened on this date in history being brought to you by 2A Tactical Firearms Indoor Firing Range, 236 East Navajo in Hobbs, veteran-owned and operated. They have the largest firearms dealer around. State-of-the-art indoor firing range with the Milo FBI training simulator. They offer, of course, live fire or shoot with the laser. They have over 1,000 different scenarios. Somebody just learning, you want to teach them about gun safety and how to shoot if you're in a certain situation, over 1,000 different scenarios. Monthly membership or pay by the hour. Check them out. They're open 7 days a week. They have a huge selection of ammo, optics, suppressors. They have firearm accessories, safes, tactical gear, and don't forget they do offer financing. Check them out today. 2atacticalrange.com. Open 7 days a week, 236 East Navajo and Hobbs. Proud sponsor of things that happened on this date in history.
On this day in 1506, Chris Columbus died in poverty. Yeah, Spain didn't have a 401k back then. And on this date in 1874, Levi Strauss put his blue jeans with the copper rivets on sale. Their price, $13.50 a dozen. You could only buy them by the dozen.
Oh, wow.
And in 1892, George Sampson invented the clothes dryer. Until then, everyone knew where their socks were. And on this day in 1926, Thomas Edison boldly predicted that Americans would always like silent movies more than talking pictures. Of course, he also swore that cars would never replace the horse and buggy. And in 1970, the Beatles' last movie, Let It Be, hit movie theaters. Finally, in 1993, more than 80 million people watched the final episode of Cheers, and that makes it in the second highest rated series finale ever, just behind MASH and just ahead of Seinfeld.
Wow.
Today is National Quiche Lorraine Day. I bet the B-52s are celebrating. National Sugar Bee Apple Day, National Streaming Day, National Pick Strawberries Day, National Be a Millionaire Day, and National Rescue Dog Day. Like my dog Tug.
Yeah.
You can go find him over on Facebook. Of course, the countdown is on to this weekend, which is Memorial Day weekend, and there are 26 days until Father's Day.
Okay.
John Party is 40 years old today, Kevin.
Happy birthday to John Party.
Heartache
He's got some
medication.
dirt on his boots.
Should get you hypnotized.
Well, that ain't the right song, John. John, you messed me up with the.
Gonna hit the club, gonna cut the rug, burn it up like
I think my favorite John
I had
Party
it
song
all
is Heartache
queued up and
Medication.
everything.
Right. One we missed this morning. Rachel Platten is 44 today.
Well, Rachel, happy birthday.
Fight Song is her song.
Oh.
Busta Rhymes is 53, and for the record, that doesn't rhyme.
Yeah. That was a clean version.
I wonder if he'll ever go back to just Trevor George Smith Jr.
Nah.
No?
Why would you do
Probably
that?
not.
Probably not. Tony Stewart is 54 today. Monica, who is that?
Tony Stewart, I want to say, is a driver.
Yes.
I knew
NASCAR.
it.
Going around in circles.
Good job. Monica gets 50 million points
50
for that one.
million against nobody.
Timothy Oliphant is 57 today.
Oh, that's a cool last name. I don't
He
know
is
who
a
it
very
though.
underrated actor, and he played Drew Barrymore's husband on Santa Clarita Diet.
I never heard of that movie.
He was also on Deadwood, and he was in the FX show Justified.
Okay.
You would probably know him if you saw him.
Okay.
Very underrated actor, by the way.
Okay.
Mindy Cohn turns 59 today. Now, she played Natalie on the TV series Facts of Life. Nick Hayward is 64 today. Did we get him, Kevin? From Haircut 100?
No.
So,
No.
Love Plus One, favorite shirts. That's the boy meets girl thing. Bronson Pinchot turned 66 today. He was the funny talking one on Perfect Strangers and Beverly Hills Cop. Susan Calsill turned 66 today. She used to be part of a family singing group. I think they were called the Susans, but I could be wrong. Could be the Calsills. Jane Weedland is 67 today.
She's got the beat. I wonder if she can still spin like that.
She can. She is, of course, the Go-Go's guitarist and one of their lead songwriters. Like all of their good songs, when you go listen to their catalog, not just their hits, but their good songs, she probably helped co-write. And we were talking about this guy earlier. Ron Reagan, the president's son, turns 67 today. Now, he was a little more liberal than his dad, so he was more like his mother. And I'm not going to say it, that he was a Nancy's boy. But yeah.
Yeah, he's got the ballerina slippers on
He
this
does.
morning. He can still twirl.
Dave Thomas is 76. Not the guy from Wendy's, but the guy who was with Rick Moranis in Doug and Bob McKenzie skits. So the comedian, you would recognize him if you saw him. And Cher turns 79 today. And yeah.
You know, I was going to do Sonny Bono and Cher, but this song was #1 in 23 different countries.
Yes. Yep. And every gay dance club. Yeah.
Oh, evidently.
She wishes she could turn back time, but she likes the young boys. So when they get to a certain age, she
the plastic
trades
is
them
getting very, very old and brittle.
She likes trading them in for the younger models, like a car. People who left us, who would have had a birthday today. Joe Cocker left us in 2014.
You are so beautiful.
The Little Rascals.
To me.
And if you do Joe Cocker, you have to do it like Joe Cocker.
Yeah.
And it's like he is struggling.
It's like he's in the bathroom.
Yeah.
Now,
Man, it sucks that I can't see you
now,
anymore.
one that you may be able to come up with on the fly, because I didn't tell you this one earlier, is Israel Kamakakawal. I can never say his name. It's the big Hawaiian.
Kamakawiwu.
He's that big chubby Hawaiian guy that plays the ukulele, and he did Somewhere Over the Rainbow, and it's one of the great
best
versions of Somewhere Over the Rainbow.
Yeah, and he was so big that all he did was just sit there
He
and
was
play his little ukulele.
he was like almost 600 pounds or really close to that, and that little ukulele was like the size of his hand.
Yeah, it was a little.
Did you find that on the fly?
He's a big dude, very big dude.
Yeah.
All right, let me move it.
Ooh, somewhere over the rainbow, way up high.
God bless him.
I love that version. And finally, Jimmy Stewart left us in 1997, and he was one of the great American actors. And
I can't do much more than just that's swell.
What do you want, Mary? You want the moon? You want the moon, Mary?
That's just
rope the moon for you. What's your favorite Jimmy Stewart movie? That's a hard one, isn't it?
The later ones.
Really?
The Golden Pond.
He was not in that.
I thought he was in Golden Pond.
I don't think so. He might have been. I don't remember him in that. But so not the man who shot Liberty Valance, not the Christmas movie everybody watches. Wonderful Life.
He was in Vertigo, A Wonderful Life, Rear Window.
Yep.
Mr. Smith Goes to Washington.
Yep. Good movies.
Harvey.
Yep. Yeah, that was a good movie, actually. Harvey was. Anyway, there you go. Those are the things that happened on this day in history, and birthdays, and even some folks who have left us that would have had birthdays today. Kevin?
All right, 8:17. We got to take a break. Before we take a break, well, let's do our national anthem and our pledge. Being brought to you by Rebecca Long. She's your Farmers Insurance agent, can take care of all of your insurance. Home, auto, life insurance, commercial insurance, recreational insurance. Let her bundle up a policy to meet your needs, specifically to meet your needs. Look, Rebecca has been in the business since she was 19 years of age. She started her business with farmers, and 40 plus years later, still helping people, serving the entire state of New Mexico. Talk to her about meeting your needs with all of your insurance, all under one location. She can bundle it together and save you a lot of money. 575-393-2661. Call Rebecca Long today. She is, of course, proud members of Farmers Insurance and, of course, proud sponsor of the National Anthem and the Pledge.
This is the Versado chapter of the Guardians of the Children with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the
8:20, 20 after 8. Large prayer this morning being brought to you by Judah Oil, reminding you God is in complete control.
Today's verse of the day is John 16:13. When the Spirit of truth comes, he will guide you into all truth. He will not speak on his own, but will tell you what he has heard. He will tell you about the future.
Hi, my name is Jose Luevno. I work for Judah Oil. Would you please join us in saying the Lord's Prayer? Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen.
All right, we're going to keep you updated with everything going on with news. News this morning being brought to you by Luke Ragsdale, reminding you when accidents happen, it's when you least expect them. That's why you need to remember the name RagsdaleLawFirm.com, a trusted law firm, somebody that's going to fight for you. That's the Ragsdale Law Firm, specializing in car accidents, personal injury, medical malpractice, and oil-field accidents. They're based in Roswell, serving the entire state. They offer free consultations. And don't forget, you never pay until you win your case. Call Luke Ragsdale today, 575-208-5300, RagsdaleLawFirm.com for more information. We'll be right back. It's 8:22. We're Beyond the Breakfast Club.
Fox News, I'm Chris Foster. President Trump's meeting with House Republicans this morning at the Capitol to rally support for a tax and spending cut bill.
We're going to have a bill, the one big, beautiful bill I think it's going to be. It's the biggest bill ever passed, and we got to get it done. Tremendous tax cuts for people, tremendous incentives, tremendous regulation cuts, all these regulations that are so horrible.
The plan's opposed by enough Republicans to prevent passage as is. The European Union agrees to new sanctions on Russia over the war in Ukraine. Atlanta's former mayor, Democrat Keisha Lance Bottoms, joins next year's Georgia governor's race.
People are looking for somebody to fight against the chaos that's coming out of Washington, the chaos that's being created by the Donald Trump administration, and I am ready to lead.
Incumbent Republican Governor Brian Kemp is term limited. Bottoms served one term as mayor, joining the Biden administration after declining to run for a second term. America's listening to Fox News.
Get ready to ignite your senses. Smoking on the Plaza is back and hotter than ever in Lovington, New Mexico. Join the fun Friday, May 30th, starting at 4 p.m. and Saturday, May 31st at noon. It's a weekend packed with mouth-watering food, unique vendors, and electrifying live music. Friday's lineup features the Wicked West Band, Liquid Gypsy, and Pegasus and the Rooftop. Saturday keeps the beat with Conjunto Bengala, followed by A.B. Quintanilla and Cumbia All-Stars. And that's not all. Experience the thrill of mechanical bull riding, glide at the skating rink, or unleash your creativity in the splatter room. This free event is Lovington Main Street's annual fundraising extravaganza. Plus, the IBCA-sanctioned cook-off is still accepting participants. Your chance to compete at Nationals awaits. Don't miss this sizzling celebration in the heart of downtown Lovington. Visit SmokingOnThePlaza.com for more info or enter your team. That's SmokingOnThePlaza.com.
If you need an aggressive, experienced personal injury attorney who is honest and true, you need to get the Gorilla.
So I'm 23 years old. I worked at a warehouse, and I took an injury which caused the amputation of my right leg. I was approached by a specific firm, and they turned my case down within 5 minutes. I was told to come visit the Gorilla Law Firm, and immediately they saw potential in my case. And I tell you what, Gorilla Law Firm had my back when no one else did. The Gorilla Law Firm made me a multi-millionaire. And if you're injured, you call the Gorilla Law Firm too.
The Gorilla Law Firm, 3130 North Grimes and Hobbs, or call 575-964-2720.
This is Jan at Toyota.
Hi, Jan. Is now a good time to get a new Toyota?
It is. We like to say your summer starts here at your Toyota dealer. Now through June 2nd, we have a great selection of Camrys, Corollas, Tundras, and more.
I'm a pet sitter, and business is way up as people enjoy their new Toyotas.
Your summer starts here. Dealer inventory may vary. See your participating Toyota dealer for details.
Toyota, let's go places.
Visit Permian Toyota in Hobbs today. Toyota, let's go places.
Imagine a world where teams wore plain, uninspired uniforms. Functional? Sure.
Eye-catching? Hardly. But as times evolved, so did the demand for standout styles. Entered the era of awesome graphics. Located at 523 West Sanger in Hobbs, New Mexico, they revolutionized team and work attire. Their secret? High-quality FR uniforms from renowned brands like Ariat, Lapco, Byrne, and Bulwark, paired with cutting-edge technology for vibrant, multicolored logos. Awesome Graphics bridges the gap, offering both sports and industrial uniforms that don't just fit well, they inspire. From Nike office shirts to Adidas and Oakley designs, they ensure every team and staff look as professional as they perform. They're not just about appearances at Awesome Graphics, they're about empowering teams. So if you're in Southeast New Mexico and need uniforms that speak volumes, the choice is clear. Visit myawesomegraphics.com and discover how they can elevate your team's image. Awesome Graphics, where style meets performance.
The City of Hobbs Recreation Summer Sports Program is back and better than ever. From June 2nd to July 17th, Monday through Thursday, 7:30 a.m. to 12:15 p.m., your kids can stay active, learn new skills, and make new friends completely free. In partnership with Hobbs Municipal Schools, this program offers fun sports activities for K through 12 students, breakfast and lunch included at Tasker Arena at Hobbs High School. Register for this great free program today at corehobbs.com or in person at the Core. Make sure your kids have a great summer. From the Recreation Department, Hobbs Schools, and your City of Hobbs.
New year, new ride, New Mexico. Ready to kick off 2025 with a car that looks brand new? Mighty Wash has just the thing for you. Start fresh with our Express Interior package for just $60. This includes a full interior wipe down, tire shine, windows cleaned inside and out, door jambs detailed, vacuuming of all rows, and a free Wonder Clean wash with complete hand dry. Want the works? Treat your car to our complete detail package. It's got everything in the Express Interior plus seat and carpet shampoo, wheel and tire cleaning, and a premium wax. And it comes with our top tier Mighty Protector wash for the ultimate shine. Don't let your car roll into 2025 stuck in the past. Refresh your ride with Mighty Wash. Clean car, fresh start, New Mexico. Let's make this year your car's best year yet.
Ready for a new ride? Cowboy Dan here at Permian Chevrolet GMC Nissan in Hobbs. Shoot down high prices on our huge in-stock inventory. Now is the time to check out these amazing deals. Like this 2025 Chevy Malibu was priced $29,500. Right now, $22,995. Let's talk truck. Like this 2024 Chevy Silverado, priced $52,900. Now, $43,995. Why, that's nearly $9,000 off. Cowboy Dan, bringing you the best deals in the Permian Basin, shooting down high prices. Don't forget about our Permian lifetime warranty. Coming through. Giddy up and come on down today. Visit us at Permian Chevrolet GMC Nissan here in Hobbs, 701 West Navajo Drive. And remember, Cowboy Dan will beat anyone's deal. Permian Chevrolet GMC Nissan Hobbs.
Be in the Breakfast Club being powered by Permian Ford and PermianFord.com.
Back to Be in the Breakfast Club.
When I'm driving, I got a guy on the radio who talks to me. I can't see him, but he talks to me.
The personalities bring it home to me, and I just love it.
Stream, 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 stream. Schools are closing, not much good news, but I've got Wi-Fi and lots of booze. Whenever I'm not Zooming, all I have to do is stream, 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 stream. Netflix and chill, Hulu if you will, Peacock and Disney Plus too. Wait, there's more. More? Yes, more. Amazon Prime, HBO Max, and throw in a little YouTube. What's Peacock? Stream, 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 stream.
What's on television tonight on the other channels?
You can't not watch. So the question is, what is your favorite streaming service? Love to hear from you. 877-396-W105. I am kind of brokenhearted this morning. I told the wife my chair is broke, and she said, maybe you're getting too fat. I'm like, I weighed in this morning. I weighed 182 pounds.
Well, what you doing leaning back in it like I saw you doing?
What have you been doing
Well,
in that chair?
Oh,
It's
don't ask that
supposed to
question.
be a reclining chair, but
Don't
it
break it.
broke, and now
Don't
it
break it.
reclines
No,
even
don't.
more.
Don't do it. No, don't do it.
And so she said, buy another one. I'm like, I got a month and a half to, I leave for America. Well, I'm going to buy another chair. I'm going to wait and see if it lasts. Ain't no sense wasting good money. And the chair's just sitting here
I
waiting
agree.
for me to come back.
I'd do
Does
a
that
little.
make any sense?
I'd do a little rigging it up, and I don't know what you
I'm just
call
gonna
it.
get
Wig
it.
a rig.
Look, here it is.
Wig a rig.
Duct tape and baling wire. That's all I'm saying.
That's
I can
it.
fix
I'm going to get
anything.
it done my way. Looks like a moose wandered onto the grass outside a hospital in Anchorage, Alaska, gave birth to a healthy calf. It was a beautiful sight. It really, really was. Since kids nowadays aren't having kids, it was a beautiful sight. By the way, the hospital ended up billing the moose $10,000. But, yeah, I mean, it did happen at the hospital. So I guess it's okay. Moose is like, we'll see if I can pay. I'm indigent. Maybe the county will pick up the tab. Workers in California Wildlife Center, they donned a bear costume to feed a 2-month bear cub. It was nice to see him playing dress up. It's like a furry convention, except with a real life cub. Where could that go wrong? What the hell? I tell you what, these furries, man, kind of crazy.
That's not right.
My kid ever came home and told me that he was a furry or she was a furry, I'd be like, get the hell out of here. Are you crazy?
Oh, my
I'd be
God.
like, no, you're not. And if
Look.
you are, you're living outside starting from
For
right
real.
now.
And they are
For real.
super freaky. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Looks like Oklahoma High School is going to start teaching 2020 election conspiracy theories in the classroom. Would that fall under civics?
Well, it depends on what you mean they're going to be teaching 2020 conspiracies. Like
well,
what
the election was
conspiracy?
stolen. Look, after
Oh wait,
all
they're
these
election
lies-
deniers? Are they admitting they're election deniers?
Boss, no sé.
I'm an election denier, for sure. I don't think Joe Biden won the election.
Hey, Frank's on the phone.
Let's go to Frank. When we come back, we're going to hear about big wheels. They keep on turning. Well, we'll get to that coming up in a second. Frank, my buddy, what's going on?
Oh, not much, sir. Not much. Just kind of surprised that the Democrats, all of a sudden, certified all the Americans as being medical specialists, because we all knew that Biden. Yeah, we all knew that Biden was a
telling
little
you.
out of it. Yeah, out of it, and they kept saying no, 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 like if they were in a mirage, seeing different than we were seeing. Look,
Look,
and
everything that they say is a lie. I mean, just like Representative McIver assaulting police officers and ICE agents. I mean, no, you didn't see that. No, you didn't see that. Everything they say is a lie. It's sad, but it's
Yes, sir.
true.
Yes, sir, Mr. B, and also Mr. B, like I feel bad for him, for President Biden.
Yes.
For he came up with with cancer, prostate cancer, and I feel bad, because he's a human, and he was in the Senate, he was in the government and he was president, but that's what evil makes, I grew up listening to the root of all evil is money, and all his family got rich off of Biden.
Yep.
But then
They
they threw
did.
his health. They threw his health under the bus.
Yeah.
They threw his
I
health,
agree.
and nobody's gonna be accountable for it, and nobody's gonna get. But that was like senior abuser, and you and I,
We called
and
it.
everybody that works in your station, everyone would see the senior abuse.
Yeah.
And they kept saying, no, no, no. And I have a mom that's 94, and you have a mom also that's up in age.
Mhm.
And we constantly call them and visit or, talk to our sisters, our brothers that are closer to them.
Right.
And constantly are caring about their health, And we asked the hard questions, and the Democrats, they threw his health under the bus, and that will never be forgotten in America.
No.
About the Democrats.
No.
Well, and Monica.
Well, and they lied about it.
Well,
they lied about it. I'm not going to blame Joe Biden for lying because I don't think he is in the right.
I'm not sure they
mind.
told him.
Yeah,
I'm not sure he even
no
knows.
clue what's going on.
Oh man, that is bad.
Well, and Monica and I
That
were
is
talking right during the last break about that, and she, a friend of hers posted online that said, "Look, the Republicans and Democrats are different. During this, we pray for Joe Biden to be okay.
No,
Democrats
no. I mean, he's a
paid.
human.
They prayed for Donald Trump to be killed. So we are not anywhere close to being the same.
No, we're not the same way. We're not the same way.
Yeah.
Sad,
Thank you.
sad. Sad. I appreciate you, Frank. You take it easy. 837 mortgage rates jump above 7% after Moody's downgraded the U.S. credit. Look, this is a long time coming. You could say this is under Trump. Yes, it's under Trump, but this was a long time coming. This didn't happen overnight. It's like your credit score. All of a sudden your credit score is down in the 500s. Well, it just didn't happen yesterday. It took you a while to get there. So same thing with Moody's. So the good thing is if we can rebuild, credit score can go back up. The Moody's, they'll upgrade us back up. But, yeah, interest rate back above 7%. Looks like late season freeze expected in western and northern New Mexico. Wow. So this morning they woke up to frost.
Wow.
And wow, it's kind of late in the season.
Yes.
Don't you think?
Yes. Well, and it depends on what altitude you're at too.
Yeah.
I mean, you know as well as I do that in the mountains, even in southern New Mexico, in the Sacramentos, 4th of July, you've seen snow.
Yeah, it could. Organizers planning a nationwide protest for Trump's birthday. 79th birthday. So they are planning a June 14th to be in Washington for this is just sad. Don't you guys have nothing? They're calling it No King's Day. Since when did Donald Trump say he was a king?
Never.
So also another group, they're partnering with Black Voters Matter and Declaration for American Democracy. You guys have zero credibility with me. That's just with me. You guys have zero credibility. You have lied to the American people one too many times. Zero credibility. Authorities in Mexico are looking for individuals that targeted 2 men and injured a third that were providing the Mexican police agencies with help. These guys work for the U.S. State Department and another agency. They were eating tacos at a taco stand in Mexico when they were shot.
Oh, no.
So 2 men dead and 1 injured. This happened in Jalisco. By the way, the Attorney General of Jalisco says they are looking for individuals that are responsible at this time. Could this have anything to do with the rhetoric that's going on with making the cartels a terrorist group? It could.
Possibly. Yeah, possibly.
So don't go train the Mexican folks anymore. If they're going to pick off our people like that, nope, don't do it. One more story before we get to the text line. Chicago mayor boasts that he likes to discriminate against white people.
Yes.
Brandon Johnson went on some TV show and suggested that whites are inferior.
Well, and this all comes down to the hiring practices of the city of Chicago. And how
he
they
said, I hire
discriminate
black
against-
folks.
Yeah, he discriminates based on race.
Yeah, he said, black people are, giving people. They're generous, and whites are inferior. Now, I'm just going to say it. If I was talking about African Americans and said that African Americans were inferior, by the way, other people have said that. And I have yelled, BS. That is not true. But nobody is yelling BS. That is not true. That white people are inferior.
Nope.
And I'm just going to point this
It's
out.
racist.
Some of the biggest racists in America are actually black folks.
Yep.
And they get away with it. They get away with it. Hire the best candidate for the job.
Yep.
Yeah, he said, I'm hiring black folks. I know I'll have some detractors, but I'm hiring black people. And we see what condition Chicago is in today. And it's not because you're hiring black people. It's because you're hiring people based on the color of skin.
Yep.
And I'm just going to say, God doesn't like ugly.
Nope.
He does not like ugly. And you are ugly. You are ugly. That's just sad. That's just sad. In 2025, we have people hiring people based on color of skin. You are no better than the people that were here under Jim Crow. You are no better, because that's exactly what they were doing. You're no better. Sad. All right, Monica, text coming up next. Morning show this morning being brought to you by A Custom Construction and Roofing and insurance specialists. You got hail damage? Yeah, they can get out there, get you a quote, talk to your insurance company. That's what they do. They're licensed, bonded, and insured, and they are an insurance specialist. They deal with the insurance company. Veteran owned and operated by Dwayne Pennick for over 30 years. They have an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. 30 years in business, A+ rating. They give free estimates. In fact, when the hail came, Dwayne Pennick was out and about, and he was like, let me fix your skylights before water gets into your house and messes things up.
Yep.
No strings attached. Let me repair that for you before things get worse for you. Call Dwayne Pennick. 575-318-9725. Upstanding company.
Yeah.
They do the right thing.
And they're fast and they're good. I mean, I just had them. They did my roof over the weekend.
Wow. A Custom Construction Roofing, warning you about these folks that are like locusts. When we have a hailstorm in southeast New Mexico, they're like locusts. Out of town, unlicensed, out-of-state contractors. The gypsy roofers come out of the woodwork. They do a shoddy job, and the warranty they give you is not even a warranty. Do business with good people. A Custom Construction Roofing. Call Dwayne Pennick, 575-318-9725. Monica and the text boob of the day up next.
Okay. How do you know they were eating tacos in Mexico, B? Shaking my head. Is that racist?
Because that's what the story said. They were at a taco stand eating tacos.
Do none of these protesters...
By the way, if you don't believe me, go to Breitbart and read the story.
Yeah. Do none of these protesters have jobs or a life? Obviously not. Or
Well, that
they're
is their
getting
job.
paid to be a protester.
Yeah, that's their job.
Mike from Edgewood said the left celebrated Rush Limbaugh's cancer and death from it. If it wasn't for double standards, the Democrats wouldn't have any standards.
True.
True.
Amen.
Desert Flower said, I've read that with his cancer being the stage it's at, he only has 2 months to live. How sad. And he is supposed to be retired. You know what's crazy? As much as we've taught our kids, what went wrong under the Biden administration, when I told my daughter last night, hey, did you hear that Joe Biden had cancer? Her reaction was, oh no, mama. Like, even our kids are like, man, that's sad. Not like, that's what he gets. Or, you know what I mean? Like, it's how you teach your kids to be. Anyways, I just thought I'd throw that in. Good morning, ladies. Good morning, ladies. Good morning, lady and gentlemen.
Wait, hold on. Let me check. No.
I'm a lady. I'm a lady. John and Pio said, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Wait.
Hoo-hoo.
Let me check. Nope.
Good morning, you guys. John and Pio said Hulu is his favorite streaming one. And he said, Monica, your laugh is contagious. You guys have a blessed and a wonderful day. I'm glad I can wake you up with a nice laugh. And this person said, did you just say wiggarig? Yes, I did. Because if I say the other one, I'd probably get fired. And Monica Hader said, you got to get it where you can get it. B? I don't know if that meant like on the chair somewhere. Southern engineer it, Kevin. Your chair.
Don't break it.
Can you hear it? Can you hear it
Yes.
cracking when I lean back?
Yes.
It's like, I got me a recliner.
No, don't break it. You don't get a new one.
So I went on a shopping page and I told Blake, I said, there actually is a gaming recliner, but yeah, that
Kevin,
probably wouldn't be good.
Look,
I'd probably be going to sleep.
I was going to say, you're going to take after Tom A if you get one of those.
I'd be. Yeah.
Biden was not just lost when he was walking off stage and falling upstairs. I believe he was in pain. Oh, pobrecito. That is so true. He was probably so confused.
God bless him.
Oh, God.
God
and
bless
B,
him.
speaking about your weight, this is Robert Mendoza chiming in. I have always heard that when people vacation to other countries, although they splurge and eat good, they will still come back to America weighing less than what they left at. I've heard this is due to all of the high processed foods in America.
Yeah.
Did you know
And that is so true. That is so true. And I try not to eat fried food a whole bunch, but all the vegetables are grown and picked and I eat them the next day. And most of the meat is slaughtered and I eat, and very little processed, very, very little processed food. So, and I don't eat a whole bunch of junk. Sunflower seeds, grapes, watermelon, that's probably bananas, protein. So definitely, processed food in America is would a lot of our problems for sure.
Monica, why do you want Tom out of his bus? If you've seen his bus and you loved somebody that was living in a bus like that, you would want them out too.
So let me just say this, and I don't want to talk out of school. They said the condition of Tom's bus could have led to his ghost pneumonia.
Yes.
So what you breathe in, that could be part of the problem.
Correct.
So,
and guys, I heard
and maybe I said too much.
No.
Maybe I said too much, but
no. No.
But I'm gonna call him after a while. He better answer the damn
Well,
phone.
I was going to say, we've all called, we've all texted, no answer.
Y nada, no quiere contestar.
And he's listening and we haven't got a call.
Either he's still passed out. Periquito.
So hopefully he calls in a little bit. All right, let's get to Boob of the Day this morning, being brought to you by Desert Functional Medicine and Aesthetics, medical professionals on staff. They offer functional medicine. They offer natural supplements to help you. Look, they do a deep dive into your blood work. They can figure out exactly where you're deficient. If you're living in pain, they have remedies. They do. Ozone therapy, stem cell therapy, And if you're going through hormonal issues, ladies, get in touch with them for hormonal optimization. Guys, testosterone. Testosterone replacement therapy is godsend. If you used to be in shape, if you used to have get up and go, if your libido used to be through the roof and it's not anymore, it could be that your testosterone is very, very low. Let them do a deep dive into your blood work to find out what is going on. 3900 North Lovington Highway in Hobbs, 575-964-8025. Desert Functional Medicine and Aesthetics, proud sponsor of the boob of the day.
So it's kind of hard to force cats to do anything that they don't want to do, hence the term herding cats. So maybe this cat just wanted to be a drug mule. See, prison officials in Costa Rica caught a cat trying to smuggle drugs behind bars last week. They captured it climbing over the fence, and it had 236 grams of marijuana and 68 grams of heroin strapped to its back.
Oh, wow.
Now, officials believe the cat was deployed by someone to smuggle drugs to the prisoners inside because the alternative was the cat was acting on its own. I mean, yeah. They cut the drugs off the cat and handed it over to animal care to have the cat checked out. And the cat is okay. And of course, the cat is not facing any charges. But they are searching through security footage to figure out who's behind the cat mule. And it probably wasn't the sharpest person because the cat is mostly white and was unleashed at night. And that made it easier to spot because a white cat sticks out when
True.
At nighttime. So I can't say the cat is the boob of the day, but whoever released the cat to bring drugs into the prison, they are definitely the boob of the
Wouldn't that
day.
be considered like animal abuse? Like,
Could be.
yeah.
Kevin?
I mean, they're either ingenious or the boob of the day.
And in this case, they're the boob.
Because cats don't do anything. They're not like dogs.
No. Well, you can train them, but it was probably going like towards where they had some kind of treat or food or something. The story doesn't say, but there was something with that, I'm sure.
Boob of the day being brought to you by Desert Functional Medicine and Aesthetics. We'll take a break, 8:53. So, Blake, you just sent me this.
Yep.
Looks like fire restrictions statewide going into effect. When does that go into effect? Is it now?
Yeah, it says that it's in effect today.
Immediately?
Yep.
So prohibited smoking, fireworks use, campfires,
Here you go.
prescribed burns, open burns,
The kicker?
flaring of gas related to oil and gas production.
Yes, that's never been in a
Well,
fire restriction
say
before.
Say what?
Yeah.
No flaring?
Yeah.
Well, how are you going to release the gas
Well, but
if
this
there's
is
no flaring?
here. Are they even putting the restrictions in just so they can do that? That's my question.
Anybody see this? I would love to for you to comment on this. No flaring?
Yeah. That's so that they can shut companies' oil and gas production down. They're going about
Now,
it through the back door.
anybody work in the patch, flaring is very, very important. That's the way you release the gas that crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody that knows a little bit about that, please. What does that do to the industry? I'd love to hear from you. Wow, unbelievable. All right, text line, we'll get to that coming up next. Quick check of the weather this morning. Being brought to you by Maine Trailer Sales. Don't go camping without Maine Trailer Sales. You can find them. They have the largest inventory of new and pre-owned RVs. Passport Cougar. They also have Durango, plus many other models that are being delivered every week. And if you're working out in the patch, living in a hotel, use that per diem for something better, to buy yourself something and let the per diem pay for it. Check out Maine Trailer Sales today. MaineTrailerSalesInc.com. .com. Take a virtual tour of all the units. 575-622-1751. Go to MainTrailerSalesInc.com for more information. Don't go camping without Main Trailer Sales. 83 and sunny, and looks like the wind's less than 15 miles an hour for southeast New Mexico today. Ruidoso looking good, 73 for the high. Sunny skies, less than 15 mile an hour winds, and less than 10 mile an hour winds expected for Albuquerque with sunny skies and a high about 80. Let's get updated with all the news this morning. Keep you updated with everything going on. News being brought to you by Twin Wells Fuel Station. If you're driving this morning and you're between Jowl and Carlsbad and you need fuel, exit on Buck Jackson Road and head down to the brand new Twin Wells Fuel Station. Exit Buck Jackson Road, go down about 2.75 miles. You'll see them. They're open to the public. Large facility. It's a covered area. And they sell unleaded, green diesel, red diesel, and DEF value. They accept credit cards, debit cards, and fleet cards. They just like to remind you, please be safe on the road from the Twin Wells Fuel Station. They're right off of 128 on Buck Jackson Road. Taking a break, coming back. We're 4 minutes away from 9 o'clock, 4 away from 9. KWMW, Maljamora, 105.1 FM, 93.5 KWES, Ruidoso, and KDAZ, AM 700, FM 96.9. We'll be right back with B on the Breakfast Club.
MTD Radio News, I'm Blake Ovard. Rented grandstand seating will be used for the National Championship Air Races and Air Show coming September 10th through the 14th, according to Roswell officials. A design for the grandstand had been approved and work had started, but the Federal Aviation Administration inspection in late February determined that it would have partially blocked the view from the Roswell Air Center's control tower of the runway safety area. Runway safety areas serve as the primary safety mitigation for aircraft that unintentionally veer off or miss the end of the runway surface by overshooting it. The FAA refers to these as runway excursions. Because the timeline has become too short to relocate permanent grandstands, a temporary grandstand is going to be used this year. And another piece of Texas lawmakers' efforts to expand the state's appeal for business owners was highlighted during a capital markets bill package signing last week. Governor Greg Abbott, who signed a trio of bills, said they
solidify our status as the best state for doing business for many years to come.
One of the bills Abbott signed into law reduces tax liability for stock traders.
Senate Bill 1058 will exempt stock exchanges operating in Texas, like the NASDAQ, New York Stock Exchange, and our very own Texas Stock Exchange from certain franchise tax liabilities.
The last bill, House Joint Resolution 4, that changes the state constitution and will ban capital gains taxes in Texas, still has to go through voters in November before becoming law.
Voters will vote on this to ensure that we're not going to have a capital gains tax in the state of Texas. The next tax law that I will sign will be a tax law to reduce your property taxes in Texas.
The New Mexico Economic Development Department has launched a Technology and Innovation Office, along with more than $90 million in funding as part of House Bill 20. The new division is said to focus on advancing technology development, innovation, commercialization, and economic growth. The division will absorb the existing Office of Strategy, Science, and Technology. And that's the way it is. I'm Blake Ovard. This is MTD Radio News.
Get ready to ignite your senses. Smoking on the Plaza is back and hotter than ever in Lovington, New Mexico. Join the fun Friday, May 30th, starting at 4 p.m. and Saturday, May 31st at noon. It's a weekend packed with mouth-watering food, unique vendors, and electrifying live music. Friday's lineup features the Wicked West Band, Liquid Gypsy, and Pecos and the Rooftop. Saturday keeps the beat with Conjunto Bengala, followed by A.B. Quintanilla and Cumbia All-Stars. And that's not all. Experience the thrill of mechanical bull riding, glide at the skating rink, or unleash your creativity in the splatter room. This free event is Lovington Main Street's annual fundraising extravaganza. Plus, the IBCA-sanctioned cook-off is still accepting participants. Your chance to compete at Nationals awaits. Don't miss this sizzling celebration in the heart of downtown Lovington. Visit SmokingOnThePlaza.com for more info or enter your team. That's SmokingOnThePlaza.com.
It's time to strike gold, black gold, at the core. The Black Gold Pickleball Tournament is back and hitting the courts May 31st and June 1st. Sign up by May 25th, just $25 for the tournament, plus $10 for each additional event. Core members get a $5 discount, and kids 13 to 17 can compete with parental consent. Dig in now at CoreHobs.com and strike it rich at the Black Gold Pickleball Tournament at the Core May 31st and June 1st. Extract a win on the courts from the Core and your city of Hobbs.
This is Rhonda Romack of Destiny Real Estate, where our business is built on dreams and imagination. Right now, the Lincoln County real estate market has more buyers than sellers. What does that mean? It means that the local market of inventory of houses and ranches is low, but we have plenty of buyers ready and willing to purchase properties. So if you've been considering putting something on the market, it's a good time to get top dollar for your investment. Telephone my team of seasoned professionals at 575-257-3000. That's Rhonda Romack of Destiny Real Estate, online at rudoso-nm.com.
There's been talk in the news that it's hard to get credit these days. Not here. Just like always, we're making auto loans. We offer competitive rates and quick service. We make our loan decisions locally, so you don't have to wait for out-of-town approval on your loan. Make this strong move. Get your auto loan from us. Estacado Federal Credit Union, where you are more than a number. You're a member. Federally insured by NCUA.
At Franklin Veterinary Clinic, they're a full-service clinic that offers comprehensive care for family pets, equine athletes, and livestock alike. They have multiple veterinarians on staff providing the best possible care for your animals at every stage of their life. And when emergencies arise, they offer 24-hour ambulatory services and after-hour emergency care. The new emergency number is 575-808-7725. Franklin Veterinary Clinic, a tradition and excellence in caring, proudly serving Lincoln, Chavez, and Otero counties.
It's markdown madness all week at Bob's Ridgeway. With top sirloin steak, $6.99 a pound. Sirloin cut pork chops, $1.49 a pound. Extra large grapes, $1.99 a pound. And get your Hot House bell peppers, just 99 cents each. Hot Pockets, 12 count, just $12.98. And Kellogg's giant size cereals, only $4.98. Get your Food Club split top wheat bread, just $1.88 a loaf. Food Club peanut butter, 2 big 16-ounce jars for $3, and get your Kraft macaroni and cheese 5 boxes for $5. And that's just a few of more than 150 big markdown madness values this week at Bob's Ridgeway, 906 West Avenue D in Lumington, where your grocery dollar always goes farther.
Be in the Breakfast Club, powered by Permian Ford and PermianFord.com. Home of the lifetime Permian powertrain promise.
Is this the real life? Is this just fantasy? Oh!
Albert Einstein once said 2 things are infinite: the universe and Tom A's stupidity. Let's get on with it. Call 877-396-W105.
You know, the party of common sense. See, we're the party of common sense. You're not, in all fairness. Yes, sir. We like water to put out fires. It's really quite efficient.
Be in the Breakfast Club. Call or text now, 877-396-W105 to talk to us.
Put together a pretty solid act in very little time.
Today's show is brought to you in part by television streaming services, who remind you, clearly we don't have it completely dialed in yet, but we got your credit card info, so all good here.
And they'll keep charging. You can count on that. 903. Yeah, I told Tom the other day that if he doesn't come back to work soon, I'm going to have to get busy with new liners.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of lazy right now. I mean, I'm going through a lazy part of my life, and I really don't want to work that hard. So get busy. Come back to work. Chinese woman forced to take off her heavy makeup for a facial recognition scan at the airport and failed to confirm her identity.
Wow.
This woman sounds faker than the Kung Pao chicken at the Chinese takeout. Wow. She sounds faker than a Kardashian butt. I could keep on. Maybe even the Kardashian face. And Consumer Report just came out and lists the 10 riskiest foods these days. When it comes to risky foods, deli meat, cucumbers are risky? Why would cucumbers? Raw dairy? That's a bunch of baloney. Why would raw dairy? People were drinking and eating raw dairy products for years.
Gross.
Why do you think they came out with that, Blake?
Well, it's to help the dairy industry. They don't want raw dairy being consumed because then you don't have to purchase your dairy from
I got you.
a big thing.
Oh, you mean raw, like just straight from the dairy?
Yeah, like people
Not
have
like
done for
expired.
thousands of years.
Yeah.
Thousands of years. Yeah. So items that are risky: queso fresco cheese, eggs, onions, leafy greens, organic carrots, organic basil, and ready-to-cook chicken and other meats. Dangerous.
I don't trust anything they say on that kind of stuff because they want to shut down small producers. Look at what they did to the Amish guy who was selling the raw milk and stuff. They just go in, and if you're not in bed with Monsanto, then the FDA is going to come after you because it's a rotating door between their board members.
Sure.
Next, they'll be trying to shut down their furniture company. That would really tick me off. They make great furniture. Texas gang members sentenced for human smuggling after high-speed chase. 2 South Texas gang members have sentenced for human smuggling, and following a series of high-speed chase, they got away. One time, they got away, and then they swam to Mexico. But this time, Monday's statement from ICE said that 2 human smugglers, Juan Miguel Regalado, 28, and Samuel Grajedo, 21 years old, were members of the Puro Tango Blast. It's a Texas gang. Puro Tango Blast.
Puro Tango Blast.
I mean, it could be worse. It could be Puto Tango Blast.
I am not touching it.
It did.
Well, maybe.
Wow. So they were big into drug smuggling and human smuggling.
Oh, wow.
Oh, obviously with a name
James
like that.
Comey, we talked about James Comey. Said he has no regrets putting up the 8647. Well, why you take it down?
Right.
I mean, if you have no regrets, you thought it was clever and
No,
it was
he
a
has-
political view, why you take it down?
See, I don't think it was a political view. I think it was a signal.
Oh, no. And now he's got other people saying it.
Right. I think it was a signal. This is let's start this.
Sure.
Let's try and take him out. Let's make sure that the wackos who we need to see this message and act accordingly.
And, James Comey can get all butthurt all he wants, but this guy has had his life. Two times they tried to take his life away from him.
Yeah.
2 times.
James Comey knew exactly what he was doing.
Oh, James Comey knew exactly
If he was still in the official capacity that he was in, and this came up about anyone else and anyone else who had done it, he would be all over it saying the exact same thing.
James Comey would not have a problem with me saying 86 James Comey.
No, he shouldn't.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Good.
That, according
I'm glad.
according to what he's saying now. Now he would have a problem with it, but
Yeah. Tiny houses. There's a huge market for tiny houses. Look, I am I 2 things I like looking at on YouTube: tiny houses.
Yeah, they're awesome.
And the other one is container homes.
Yep.
Really?
They're fun.
I went to a
wouldn't take you
place
as
in the
somebody who would
Philippines
like
up in the mountains, and they had built like a restaurant and a hotel out of containers.
Oh, that's awesome.
And so I love looking at that type of stuff. But when it comes to tiny homes, to me, tiny homes, especially if they're on wheels, I'm not digging the ones that have wheels.
Well, that's kind of what they want to do because then they don't have to go by a lot of building restrictions.
Yeah.
But supposedly, to be a tiny home, it's got to be like under 450 square feet.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen some great ones on YouTube that don't have wheels. They are, permanent structures.
Right.
And the design is remarkable. They think of everything. But when it comes to tiny homes, where does New Mexico rank when it comes to tiny homes?
You mean living in or manufacturing?
Yeah, living in. And so they measured tiny homes on real estate in the real estate markets. And they discovered Texas is actually pretty big when it comes to, in Colorado. Texas and Colorado are number 1 and 2.
Well, those are the, if you go look for a company to build you a tiny home, there's more of them in those 2 states than any other. And that
really?
Yeah.
So the Lone Star State seems to embrace more off-the-grid lifestyles and is number 1 when it comes to tiny homes. And Colorado boasts 20 tiny home communities and ranks number 1 when it comes to building and manufacturing tiny homes. New Mexico came in at number 15. And a lot of what they looked at 3 things: industry, infrastructure, regulations, and public interest. And remote lifestyle was part of that also. But New Mexico ranked 15, Texas ranked number 1 when it comes to tiny home.
Not a surprise.
And Jim Jordan
and
says,
if you think about it, I mean, it's kind of weird because Texas is, number 1 and big on freedoms, and Colorado really isn't. But
they're totally the other way. Jim Jordan says we shouldn't be surprised they lied about Biden's mental state, that they lied about his cancer. That's where I'm going. They've lied to us about everything. They've lied to us about Russia. They lied to us about Hunter Biden's laptop. They lied to us about Joe Biden and Ukraine, and Hunter Biden and Ukraine, and Jim Biden making money with Russia. They lied to us about everything. The Democrat Party, you're a bunch of liars. So why would I believe that Joe Biden now all of a sudden has cancer?
Right.
I don't believe anything. None of it. All right, 9:12. Monica, get to the texts. We'll take a break in a second. We got good news of the day just around the corner.
Eric says tiny homes are not cool. They're just the only thing people can afford right now. The housing market costs with the interest rates where they are is ridiculous.
I disagree. I like tiny homes.
I like tiny homes.
Right.
I'm to the point in my life where less is more.
But, my wife and I we did a tiny home cabin on purpose.
Listen, I'm not saying I would enjoy a tiny home to raise a family in. No. But if I were in B's place, like it's just me and my boo, or like Blake, like him and his boo, heck yeah, give me a little
it's
tiny
like
house.
living in an RV.
Right.
Some people like, how the hell can you live in an RV? I got everything. I got a kitchen. I got a living room. I've got a bedroom. I've got, bathroom, shower. I am to the point in my life, and me and Blake talked about this. My son was like, I can't believe you can live in the Philippines. And I'm like, less is more.
Yeah.
Less is more. I have zero problems.
John and Pius.
So, no problem.
John and Pius is saying that if he were to just, create his own version of the Golden Girls, I would be Rose. I've heard that before. Blake would be Dorothy.
I don't know who the characters are.
You don't?
I've seen the show, but I don't remember which one is which.
So Russ would be Sophia. She's the mom, the fun
the
mom,
old lady.
The old lady.
Okay.
Blanche is her daughter. That would be Kevin. No. I apologize. Dorothy is her daughter. That would be you. Blanche is
that Beatrice Arthur? That one?
She's the tall one that's kind of manly. Blanche is Kevin, or Kevin is Blanche. You're a hoe, Kevin.
Okay.
And of course, that would be Rose.
I'm a loyal hoe. I've had this conversation with my wife multiple times in the last 2 weeks.
Huh. That you're a loyal hoe?
You're a loyal hoe.
Yeah. Well,
What do you mean? Do you have like hoe tendencies?
I do.
Like what?
I
Oh,
do.
Gosh.
I was a wild child.
What a great question. Do you have hoe tendencies? That
I'm
needs to be
serious.
that needs to be a t-shirt. Do you have hoe tendencies?
I mean, because some women have hoe tendencies. Some men have hoe tendencies. Like, they tend to be hoes sometimes. They just can't. They can't
Well,
help
I
it.
mean, I wouldn't call it a hoe.
Carmen,
It's,
make a
it's
shirt.
more like dog.
He's a hoe. No,
Like dog.
I'm
people can
totally doing that as a t-shirt. Do you have hoe tendencies?
Listen, Trucker
I'm
Ben
not a
says,
hoe.
baby, I've been telling my wife forever that less is more. It depends on what stage in life you guys are in, Trucker Ben. Like, don't put her in a tiny home trying to raise 5 kids. That ain't happening.
No, I
No.
mean, look, that's different. Look, I'm going to be
No, you
honest.
need
When
a
I bought
farmhouse.
that RV, my RV, there was a Mennonite couple living in that RV.
Mm-hmm.
They had 3 kids.
Nah.
Mm-mm.
3
Mm-mm.
Ain't
kids
doing it.
and a 1-bedroom RV.
You got breath
One
on top
bedroom.
of breath. Bad breath on top of
And
bad
I'm
breath.
just like, and so the way they did it, they rolled out a mattress. And, you know, look, I've seen people who are the happiest people in the world that don't have anything. They're living in a 1-room
Yep.
shack.
Yep.
And they're happy. They
Well-
can lay down at night on a soft mattress. And, you know, I always ask the question, I ask my wife all the time when we pass some of these places, and I go, how do they make more kids? And my wife's like, very quiet.
Well, that's no fun. Well, and you think about all the pioneers that came before and all the log homes, those are pretty much 1-room houses.
Yeah, no doubt.
No, okay, so
All right,
I could keep going on that topic forever. My dad there was 14 in my dad's family. And in my
Yeah.
mom's family, there was 10. And they didn't have
Yeah.
big ass houses. So they all like shared
No.
bedrooms. They all took care of each other.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I get that.
Yeah.
But like now it's like,
Well, you know, it used to be like a 2-bedroom house was kind of the thing. You had mom and dad had
You
a
know,
room, and all the
I got-
kids were in one.
I got a friend of mine, and they've got 5 kids, and they live in they got 1 bedroom in their house.
Mm-hmm.
And just some of the most polite kids. I bought them little portable fans when Fiesta was here. And thank you so much. Daddy Kevin, thank you. I'm like, it cost me like $2. It's okay. But just sweet, sweet kids, respectful kids. But I'm like, how y'all making babies? Y'all live in a one very quiet. All right, 9:18. We got to take a break. We're coming back. Good news of the day coming up next. News this morning being brought to you by Fens and Artesia. The big Memorial Day specials going on in the meat department. They've got fresh fryer leg quarters, 49 cents a pound. Boneless beef brisket, $3.48 a pound. Fresh pork spare ribs, $1.77 a pound. Boston Bud pork roast, $1.29 a pound. And from the produce department, get a sweet fancy corn, brand new crop, just picked. They've got it. 5 years for $1. Also, seedless watermelon, just $5.99 each. Jalapenos, 99 cents a pound. Cantaloupes are just $1.99 each. And they've got the Food Club 12-pack. All flavors get 3 12-packs for just $12. And they've got Lay's potato chips. Regularly $4.99 a bag. Get 2 for $5. And don't forget hamburger and hot dog buns. They've got the Food Club 8-count packages for just $3. Get it all today, plus all your refreshments at Fens. We're coming right back. Good news of the day coming up next. It's 9:19.
Fox News, I'm Chris Foster.
We have a very, very united party.
President Trump at the Capitol to meet with House Republicans about a tax and spending cut bill opposed by some Republicans. Some want to protect Medicaid access. Some want more work requirements put in place sooner.
We're not touching anything. All I want is one thing. 3 words. We don't want any waste, fraud, or abuse. Very simple. Waste, fraud, abuse. Other than that, we're leaving it.
Some Republicans want more deficit reductions. Some want higher deductions for state and local taxes. Cop killer Benjamin Ritchie is executed in Indiana.
Ritchie was convicted in the deadly shooting of an Indiana police officer during a foot chase in 2000. Beech Grove police officer Bill Toney, a 31-year-old married father of 2, the first officer of the small department to be killed by gunfire in the line of duty.
That's Fox's Jeff Manasso. Ritchie's last meal, the tour of Italy from Olive Garden. America's listening to Fox News.
Get ready for some serious fun at the 4th annual Turfs Flag Football Tournament, hosted by United Way of Lee County. Coming up Saturday, June 14th, 2025 at Hobbs High School's Watson Stadium. Gates open at 8 a.m. and it's a full day of excitement with food vendors, family fun, and a special appearance by football star Jadian High. Even better, it's all for an amazing cause. Every dollar raised supports the Hobbs Schools Crisis Fund, helping kids facing homelessness stay in school and succeed. Think you've got what it takes? Team registration is open now, but don't wait. The deadline to register is May 30th. Sign up your team, show your skills, and be part of something bigger than the game. That's the Turfs Flag Football Tournament, Saturday, June 14th at Watson Stadium. Football, food, fun, and giving back. Don't miss it. See you there.
If you need an aggressive, experienced personal injury attorney who is honest and true, you need to get the Gorilla.
So I'm 23 years old. I worked at a warehouse, and I took an injury which caused the amputation of my right leg. I was approached by a specific firm, and they turned my case down within 5 minutes. I was told to come visit the Gorilla Law Firm, and immediately they saw potential in my case. And I tell you what, Gorilla Law Firm had my back when no one else did. The Gorilla Law Firm made me a multi-millionaire. And if you're injured, you call the Gorilla Law Firm too.
The Gorilla Law Firm, 3130 North Grimes and Hobbs, or call 575-964-2720.
Do any of these excuses for not wearing a seatbelt sound familiar to you?
I don't really like to feel restrained at all.
I don't like the way it fits on me.
Real men don't wear seatbelts.
What do you think airbags are for?
I drive really safe, and I'm only going a couple of miles, so I thought...
I don't like to wear them. There's not very many cars on the road.
I drive without my seatbelt all the time, and nothing ever happens.
Law enforcement throughout New Mexico will be on the lookout for those not wearing a seatbelt. Click it or ticket. This message brought to you by NMDOT.
Did you know that when you become employed with Eddy County, you'll be receiving one of the best and most competitive benefits packages in Southeast New Mexico? Eddy County offers great pay, paid vacation, paid sick leave, and holiday pay in addition. You get para-retirement, and for full-time employees, 100% health insurance paid and 60% for your dependents. You can find a list of open positions and apply at New Mexico Workforce Connection or online at eddycounty.org. Eddy County is an equal opportunity employer.
Pharmacy 575 is excited to welcome nurse practitioner Jessica Barrera to their team. From primary care to minor injuries, she is ready to care for our community. Walk-ins are welcome, but appointments are preferred. Offering the My Daily Medication program with pre-dose packaging, wellness consultations, weight loss plans, and more. Go see Pharmacy 575 at 305 East Sanger, Suite 600, or call 575-263-2908. Find them on Facebook, Instagram, and X. Pharmacy 575. Your health, their priority.
Soundwave Saturdays is bringing the heat at Zia Park Casino. Bring your lawn chairs, your family, and your friends. All ages are welcome, free of charge. On April 26th, the fun kicks off with Wild Rumors, delivering music by Fleetwood Mac. On May 3rd, catch the Selena Tribute, 512. On May 24th, enjoy the Broken Hearts, honoring Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. Then on June 7th, dance away with Latin Loba, a Shakira tribute. This summer is going to be packed with music and unforgettable nights. Must be 21. Play responsibly. Call the New Mexico Gambling Crisis Hotline at 1-800-572-1142.
SDR Enterprises of Hobbs is your complete dirt work, hydrovac, hot oiler, and trucking service. Whether your needs are environmental, hauling materials, or right-of-way seating, SDR has you covered. Call 575-393-8420 to schedule service today. That's 575-393-8420. SDR Enterprises, proudly serving homes, ranches, and businesses across Southeast New Mexico and West Texas. SDR is always looking to hire CDL drivers. Please visit SDREnterprisesLLC.com and contact us today for more information. SDR Enterprises is an equal opportunity employer with strong family values.
It's time once again to get your nominations in for the annual Hobbs Chamber of Commerce Community Awards.
The annual banquet is June 19th, and all nominations are due by 5 p.m. Monday, June 2nd. Categories include Outstanding Educator, Outstanding Public Safety Officer, Outstanding Young Man, and Outstanding Young Woman for ages 18 to 40, and Outstanding Citizen. You can get your nomination forms online at hobbschamber.org or by emailing executive@hobbschamber.org. Again, nominations for the annual Hobbs Chamber of Commerce Outstanding Educator, Outstanding Public Safety Officer, Outstanding Young Man and Woman, and Outstanding Citizen are due by 5 p.m. Monday, June 2nd. Get your forms online at hobbschamber.org.
Be in the Breakfast Club, being powered by Permian Ford and PermianFord.com.
Funny. Certain controversial issues, pretty much anything they want to talk about.
Just funny as hell. Assholes, but they're funny.
All right, let's get it on.
It's a dog-eat-dog world out there, and we're just the fire hydrant.
I pass it on to you as my father passed it on to me.
Take the time to thank all our sponsors. Be in the Breakfast Club.
It's part of my morning routine.
All right, we're getting right into good news of the day this morning, being brought to you by Farmers Insurance agent Herschel Rustin Hayes, Avenue D in Lovington. Give them a call, 575-396-0513. Home, auto, life insurance, commercial insurance. Proud sponsor of the good news of the day.
Panda Watch. Zookeepers at the National Zoo in D.C. say their two giant pandas have been getting busy lately. His name is Bao Li, and she is Queen Bao. She had been ignoring him for months, but apparently not anymore. So they're hoping for a love connection, and both pandas are on loan from China. Maybe they should just put up a curtain, and then they'll see if we got little bitty baby pandas. And in other animal news, right? In other animal news, the San Diego Humane Society took in a 2-month-old black bear cub after they couldn't find its mother. Now, a video they posted is in the news because they've been wearing a cheap bear Halloween costume to interact with him, like so that he'll interact. And a cat in Lakeland, Florida, named George, recently got neutered and didn't want to stick around to see what else they might cut. So he popped his cage open, scaled a fence, and escaped, all while still groggy with anesthesia. Now, the good news here is that he's okay. He somehow knew which way to go, stumbled 3 miles, and showed up back at home a couple days later, saying, "What the heck did you do to me?"
No.
And Kevin, that is today's good news. And it was all animals.
Wow. So let me ask this much. Inquiring minds want to know. Brown bears, do they sleep with like polar bears and black bears? Or are they very picky?
Not usually. There have been some hybrids between brown bears and polar bears, but not usually.
Racist bastards.
And black bears are smaller.
They
so
stick to their own kind.
usually you won't find brown bears and black bears in the same place. Now that there is some
Their
crossover,
parents
but
had
not
that
always.
conversation with them.
bears.
You're
Yeah, they-
sticking to your own kind.
They keep their neighborhood
stick.
separate.
Yeah. Crazy. Phew. Well, I mean, now we got snakes out in the Everglades that are, intermingling, yeah.
Well, and not to
pythons with.
And not to mention all the AI stuff out there.
I know it.
Oh, my Lord.
It's
crazy. Oh, well, one thing we didn't talk about is the porn bill that Donald Trump signed, that if somebody puts up porn of you and they have to take it down if requested. So we live in a different age. We'd have never thought about stuff like that.
No, you'd been like, hey,
But
can I
there were
charge for
kids that actually committed suicide over this. So thank God. And you know who pushed this bill? Melania Trump.
his wife.
Trump is.
I am
yeah,
so glad
Trump-
I grew up in an era without cell phones.
Yeah.
Me too, somewhat.
Yeah, it's pretty.
I would have
it's,
done
it's
damage
much
had I had a
different.
cell phone back then.
Yeah. And Donald Trump meeting with the Republicans today. He left the White House, went across the block, and is meeting with the Republicans, saying the big, beautiful bill needs to be passed in the House and the Senate. Is it just me, or getting things passed in this House and Senate are taking forever.
Yes.
Forever. It's terrible. All right. God bless you guys. We'll see you tomorrow. Wednesday edition of Be in the Breakfast Club. Russ Black is just raring to go. We don't like to keep him waiting because he's the nervous type, and he'll be in there just all over the board. So he's raring to go. So Standby Tradio is coming up next. We'll see you tomorrow morning for the Wednesday Hump Day edition of Be in the Breakfast Club.
MTD Radio News, I'm Blake Ovard. Rented grandstand seating will be used for the National Championship air races and air show coming